They say the house picks you. Once the house is chosen, there's really no escaping. You're a prisoner of that house until it decides to let you go. That's what the neighbors say anyway, when they walk past that baby pink colored pastel mansion. Address 121, the pink house. There's a giant fence that surrounds the entire property. It's made out of iron and stone. Honestly, it looks a little daunting. That fence is like a prison wall. It's always locked. They want to keep people out, but you do know how doors work, right? It also keeps people in. It keeps in all those little secrets that are best not let out into the public. Who are the neighbors talking about? Why are they talking about the pink house? There's only 2 people that live in the pink house. Outside the pink house, there is a plaque on the gate. It's a sign that reads Tom Thomas. Well, is Tom Thomas one of the residents there? No. He was killed in there. The house chose a new owner, I guess you could say. Kids would also start trading stories about the pink house. They would run around screaming. A lot of them would hold their breath past the house because it was almost this little curse of if you breathe when you walk past the pink house, they're gonna suck the soul out of you. But once they're in a safe enough distance, they would poke fun. Did you know that if you're quiet enough, you can still hear the baby crying? What baby? The baby of the guy that lives there. The baby died. The adult neighbors, they're no better. They'll walk past that house, drop their voice. The priest told the family if they want to live, they need to cut down that haunted tree. Apparently, the roots of the tree, they go all the way into the ground, and then the branches start following all of the evil spirits, and then they sprout out from the trunk of the tree. Now, I heard it was the well. That well is like a portal to hell. It goes all the way down into the depths of the earth, and they say that if you stand at the very edge of the well and you bend over to look down, you peer over the edge for a little too long, a hand is going to reach up and snatch you by your hair and drag you down under. But the only thing scarier than the paranormal is, the priest told the family, if they don't put a wall around the well, 3 people are going to die in that house.
So fence the well in the middle?
Yes. Otherwise, 3 people are going to die. He was wrong. 3 people would not die. 6 people would. 6. And it wasn't haunted. There was a serial killer in the family. Before we get started, there are a few quick disclaimers for today's case. It is important to note that everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And as of right now, there have been no official sentencing of the suspects charged. The trial remains ongoing. We've also changed a few names in this case, but the alleged killers' names remain the same. The majority of the sources were available in English, but some of them were still translated. So as always, with any international cases, or really any case at all, please let us know if there was anything miscommunicated, mistranslated, or any additional information that you might have down in the comments. So with that being said, just an additional reminder, everything is alleged. There have been no convictions. We will discuss the many theories towards the end of this episode, but this is the story that the family members, including the sons of the killer, as well as the prosecutors, believe has taken place. So with that being said, let's get into that version of the story. Do you know what a locked house mystery is?
Yes.
So
no in, no out.
Exactly. To put it simply, it's when someone dies in a house with no signs of forced entry or break-in. So meaning every resident, every guest in that house is suddenly a suspect. The pink house would have its own locked house mystery. It's a typical locked house scenario. You've got a limited number of suspects. They're all somewhat interpersonally connected with the victim, a confined space, and then a death. But in the pink house, there was an open door policy. Anyone was allowed to come and go as they please. And in the middle of this giant celebration, someone screams, "I'm gonna die!" The lights shut off, and suddenly every guest, every caterer, every neighbor, extended family, friend, everyone is a suspect. It just becomes that much more complicated because you don't know who slipped in and out unnoticed. The timeline is fuzzy. To place every single person in which room, what they had access to, what they were doing, what if they were lying about what they're doing? All of this gets even more messy when the authorities don't even realize it's murder until a decade later. The pink house resident list consists of the Thomas family, the Thomas parents, Ann and Tom, and their adult children, and a grandson. But for 10 days, the pink house was absolute chaos. The pink house would be open to any and all guests, known or unknown to the family, during the Festival of Onam celebrations, meaning anybody who needs a place to be was more than welcome to be at the pink house. Now, this is not really something that's out of the norm for the area. Festival of Onam is a 10-day celebration that is literally based off of community, the collective human spirit. It's literally time for everyone to get together, come find strength within one another. Guests are shuffling in and out of the house. The kitchen is packed with people trying to push past each other to finish their little dish. There's people washing, cutting vegetables, measuring ingredients, just these massive mounds of bright orange carrots on the kitchen island, green beans piled high in the little colanders. In the living room, men are setting up chairs and tables. They're arranging the seating. They're hanging up the flower decorations for the Festival of Onam. That's what it's known for. Some of the kids are tasked with laying out banana leaves on the table. So first, you need to find large, fresh, green, unblemished banana leaves. Then you have to give them a good rinse, pat them dry with a clean cloth, or you let them air dry. When it comes to placing them on the table, you want it positioned so that the tip of the leaf, the pointer, is pointing towards the left, to the person who will be eating from it, because it's going to serve as a plate. So it's all organized. It all points to the left. When it comes to arranging the food on the banana leaf, typically salt is placed at the left corner of the leaf. Pickles and chutneys go on the top right. Main dishes go straight in the center, and then the various side dishes go around the entree. And it's so fascinating because the veins of the banana leaf keep from all of the juices merging together. August 22nd, 2002. Leela Thomas is in the pink house kitchen. She's cooking. She's listening to the loud conversations in the dining room. She's yelling at the kids, "Hey, put the banana leaf down." Leela is interrupted by her mom, Ann Thomas, who walks into the kitchen and she grabs a glass of water. She doesn't look good. Leela's kind of worried about her, but her mom just shakes her off. It's fine. I think it's fatigue. It's been so loud in the house with this nonstop music during the celebrations. I'm just going to go lay in my room. Leela nods, but she's a little concerned. In the past few weeks alone, her mom has already been hospitalized twice. Each time, the doctors did not have a precise answer for what was wrong. They would send Anne back home with some holistic medicine, and they would just hope for the best. Leela, her daughter, is not hopeful. She thought about stopping mid-recipe, but another family member walks into the kitchen and starts prepping a bowl of soup. "I'm going to bring some soup up to Mom." So Leela goes back to her dish. But the more she cooks, the more she starts feeling this nagging sense of unease. She's like, "I can't do it anymore. I'm not even focusing on my cooking." She wipes her hands on the apron, decides to go check up on her mom. It's been about 20 minutes since soup has been brought up to her. She just wants to check and see if her mom ate it. Is she okay? Is she taking a nap? Leela is weaving through all the people in the busy house. She walks upstairs to her mom's room, and it is the strangest sight. Her mom, Anne, is laying on the bed, leaning up against a window, and she just has silently tears streaming down her face. "Oh my God, what happened?" "Call everyone. I'm gonna die."
What?
Leela runs out of the room. She's trying to get everybody's attention, or at least the attention of somebody that can help her. But the music is so loud. So instead of finding each stereo, turning down the music, Leela runs to shut the power off of the house. The lights go off. "Hurry! Someone help me!" The Thomas brothers, they can recognize their little sister's voice from anywhere. They could also tell this is serious. So they rush to the sound of Leela's voice. They run into their mom Anne's room, following Leela's lead, and their mother is laying there, convulsing. Her body is jerking around. She tries to grab at her adult children. "I can't breathe. I'm dying." Mother Anne is quickly taken to the hospital. There was a white frothy substance that is coming out of her mouth. She's literally foaming at the mouth. Within 5 minutes, the doctors pronounced her dead. And a little 5'4" tall woman, soft-spoken with big round eyes, gets out of the Jeep that drove Anne to the hospital. She walks straight up to the doctors who just pronounced her dead. "It was a heart attack, wasn't it?" "Yeah, just moments before she collapsed, she was complaining of chest pains." So if you knew the family tree intimately, you could potentially recognize that she was Anne's distant niece by way of marriage. But if you're like the doctors, if you're like you, and you don't know the giant Thomas family tree, you would ask, "And what's your relation to the deceased?" Oh, right. I'm her daughter-in-law. I'm married to her son, Roy. So they're cousins.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
This is Anne's niece, but also her daughter-in-law.
Oh, Anne's son married
His cousin.
his cousin.
By marriage, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When it comes to talking about someone, okay, there's two ways people go about it. When they're around, it's all smiles. Oh, Roy, he's a gentle, kind soul. I mean, he's a bit introverted, that's all. Very shy. Or two, when you don't think anyone is listening. Roy's a loser. Lazy, too, yeah. That's what the neighbor said about Roy. We have no way of knowing which version is true, but we do know that on paper, Roy and his cousin Shaju, they have a lot in common. They're both shy and introverted. They mainly keep to themselves. I mean, make of that what you will, right? They both grew up in well-off families. Their parents were the financially stable ones. Neither of them had this intense, crazy pressure to work, and they would both make a single decision that would destroy their families. It would set off a chain of events that would kill their closest family members, one by one, until 6 of them are dead. Both of them would marry their cousins. Roy's cousin, Shaju, I mean, he must have known to some degree about the deaths in the pink house. Everyone in town is whispering about how cursed the house is. There's no way that he missed it. How could he not? It's literally his cousin's side of the family that are dying in there. It's like his aunt, it's his uncle, they're dying. It was always a thought that crossed his mind though. Maybe the family's cursed. But if he's just my cousin, that means I'm not cursed though, right? Like whatever dark entities are cursing that family. Technically the pink house, they're the Thomases. I'm a Zachariah. So that means the curses are attached to names, aren't they? Besides, it's not like he even lives in the pink house. May 1st, 2014, the curse would move into Shaju's home. Shaju had lost his aunt Anne, Uncle Tom, cousin Roy, Uncle Manny. They all died mysteriously, and now he was going to lose one of his own. And it seemed like now the curse is deciding which one of Shaju's loved ones to take. His wife Silly, his 10-year-old son, or his sickly 2-year-old daughter. Just like at the party of the pink house, the day that Anne died, Shaju threw a party as well at his house. It's a communion celebration for his 10-year-old son. There's hundreds of people shuffling in and out throughout the day. And at the center of this party is not his son, but rather his 2-year-old daughter, Alphine. She's running around like a tornado. She's being passed from auntie to auntie because her parents are so busy with their big brother's big day. And near the end of the celebrations, she's running laps around these adults. And they're like, it's time for some food. Like, you gotta sit down and you gotta eat your dinner. Her aunt sits her down, grabs a piece of bread, dips it into the curry. Here, bite. Chew slowly and make sure to swallow. Alphine smiles before she takes that bite and then runs off again with the other kids to play. Alphine, you come back here. You need to eat. Alphine would find her way back to her aunt's lap, another piece of bread, ripped off, dipped in curry, and placed in front of her mouth. Bite, chew, swallow. But the minute that bite hits her throat, Alphine starts coughing and screaming. Her parents rush over. They're so embarrassed. I mean, she'd always been kind of a picky eater, but even so, I mean, this is like a tantrum that she's throwing. It's a little bit out of character. They're thinking if she doesn't eat now, she's only going to get more and more hungry and more cranky throughout the day. So they strike a deal with the 2-year-old. The auntie leans down and says, one more bite and you can go play all you want, Alphine. She takes one more bite. Bread, curry, bite, chew, swallow. Alphine would be hospitalized immediately and she would be dead in 3 days. The doctor said the cause of death was choking. Shaju wouldn't find out until years later that it was murder. So within those 2 years, Shaju's just trying to comfort his devastated wife, Silly, and he's trying to be this stable figure for his son. He's too busy. He's swept up by all this grief that he doesn't even think about the family curse. He doesn't even think about the pink house anymore. If he had just taken a single moment just to think a little bit longer, a tiny bit deeper, maybe he would have seen that there's one person that is at the center of all of the family tragedies. First the tragedies in the pink house, and now his. And one more would die in his family. But this would be someone that he and his wife would let into their own home. They would welcome this person with open arms like family. Leela Thomas had moved out of the pink house. I mean, she can't really bear to be there anymore, not after everything that's happened anyway. Back when she was a kid, she would run around the giant tree in the yard with all of her 2 older brothers, Roy and Arnav. They would chase her around, threatening to stick a caterpillar on her. She would escape into her room and she would just lay down with the book open, and the afternoon sun would hit her and she would just feel so sleepy. And by the time that she wakes up from her nap, it's dinner time. Her parents, Anne and Tom Thomas, they would always have the neighbors over for dinner. I mean, it's customary, open door policy at the Pink House. So this giant gate surrounding the entire property, it was never locked. That was when they were kids. The 3 Thomas siblings, Roy, Arnav, and Leela, they'd all grown up. And of the 5 Thomas members, only 2 of them are still alive. It's like the house is eating people alive. Once you step foot into that Pink House, it grips onto you. It decides whether or not it wants to let you go, let you leave, or if it wants to keep you forever. It wants to plant you with the tree. And for years, Leela had no idea. Is this a curse of the family? Are we just unlucky? Is it the house? Is there toxic mold infesting the house? Because why are 3 people dying in there? She's trying to bend over backwards thinking of any sort of reasoning behind why her whole family left her so early. But now she has the evidence in her hands. She knows exactly what killed her family, or rather, she knows who killed her family. And right now, there are 2 people inside of the Pink House that Leela needs to save. She calls her nephew. Hello? Where are you right now? Are you in the house? Hurry. Go take a piece of clothing or a bedsheet and stuff it in your mouth and your brother's mouth. Avoid falling asleep. Don't eat anything. Don't drink water or anything from inside of that house. Do you hear me? I'm on my way right now. Hurry, right now. Are you getting the bed sheet? Are you? Leela is already in her car when she hears knocking on the other side of the call. She can hear her nephew Remo opening the door to his bedroom and him saying, "Why are you standing here? Are you trying to listen to me? What are you trying to hear?" Leela realizes the killer is standing outside her nephew's bedroom door, and then the line goes dead. The voice speaking to Remo on the other side of the line is muted. It's a little muffled. Leela didn't hear every single word that was said, but she had never been more sure of anything in her whole life. Her brother, Roy, had not taken his own life. Her brother, Roy, was killed. Leela's nephew, Remo, remembers that night so well. He woke up from a deep sleep. His eyes were squinting from the light, and he's confused. Why are the lights on in the bedroom? He glances out the window. Oh my God, it's still dark outside. Why are the lights on? And then from his peripheral vision, he sees someone and he almost jumps out of his own skin. Oh my God, Auntie, what are you doing here? She's sitting in a chair, spine stiff as a board. She's slightly leaning forward as if she had been waiting for him to wake up this whole time. Her lips are just in a thin straight line, and she glances at Remo's little brother, Reynolds. He's still asleep. Remo quickly catches on and gently nudges his brother awake. Okay, wake up. What's going on, Auntie? Is something wrong? Your father slipped and fell in the bathroom. Your mother and your Uncle Manny are taking him to the hospital right now. What? Remo's trying to shake off the sleepiness from his mind. What do you mean he slipped and fell in the bathroom? What, is he okay? He gets up from his bed with his brother and they follow his aunt down to the ground floor. Someone set up a framed photo of their father on the table, and it was surrounded by these candles and flowers. Is this like a show of support or something? Is it for a prayer? He would learn that day that it was an altar. Their dad gets taken to the hospital and someone sets up an altar.
They don't know if he's dead?
It seems like the timing doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like they know that he's dead.
So someone set it up ahead of time.
Yeah. Their dad was dead. The kids initially thought, okay, maybe it's a trip and fall in the bathroom. Did he hit his head on the tub? But eventually they were told it's a self-exit. That's what their mother, Roy's wife, told them. I mean, who are they not to believe her? That's their mom. I mean, really, who would question her? Leela Thomas didn't even question her. But now she's got all the proof. She has her brother's autopsy in her hands. Cherry red skin, small hemorrhages in the skin, a distinct bitter almond smell. Everything that she knew from the night of the murder was wrong. The night of Roy's death, Roy had just come home from a night out with his cousin Matthew. It's a Friday night, so he's expected a late night home. Likely he would swing open the door into the Pink House and his wife and 2 young sons would be watching the TV in the living room. That's what he's thinking. But when he walks in, it's unusually quiet. The lights are off in the living room. He checks in the kitchen. There's just a bowl of rice and chickpea curry waiting for him next to a tall glass of water. Roy smirks. He takes a seat at the table. I mean, his wife is always thinking about him, just thinking ahead to the fact that he might be hungry when he gets home. His mouth starts watering. I mean, the roasted coconut, the sauteed onions and garlic, the chickpeas, curry leaves, the combination is like the perfect balance of spicy, citrusy. It's a little bit nutty. Roy digs his spoon into the curry, takes a mouthful. He would spend the rest of the night in the bathroom. I mean, strange. He'd always been one that can handle the spice rather well. Jolly wakes up to the sound of a gurgle. A sort of wet, splattering sound that sounds like it's coming from deep inside someone's throat, like if you're gargling mouthwash, but also simultaneously choking on it. And then it turns into this very strong retching noise. It sounds violent, like the person's stomach is trying to turn itself inside out. The sound is wet, almost viscous. The gagging, the retching, the heaving. Jolly opens her eyes, straining her ears to hear more. Then she gets up, calmly walks to the kitchen, passing the medicine cabinet, heads over to the table where she spots her husband's half-eaten curry. She can hear the clear, distinct sound of someone vomiting. The splattering sound, and it just keeps going on forever. And then the sound of someone trying to catch their breath before it starts all over again. That's what she hears. She reaches out, scoops up the half-touched bowl of curry and the empty water glass, brings them over to the kitchen sink, and starts doing the dishes. She makes sure to scrub and rinse every bit of that curry off. She's wiping the plates dry. She's placing them back in the cabinet. Jolly's always liked to keep a tidy house. That's what perfect wives do. I mean, all the while, like a perfect wife, she kept her ears strained for Roy's continued gasping and retching in the bathroom. Wait, what was that? She stops. She wipes her hands on her nightgown and she walks to the bathroom. She puts her ear up to the door and she's just listening. She crinkles her eyebrows and she's trying to understand what's going on the other side. She's glancing at the staircase to make sure that neither of their sons are walking down the stairs. And 15 minutes later, Jolly finally hears exactly what she was listening for. Silence. Her husband, Roy Thomas, was dead in the bathroom. Jolly calls for help and then she faints. Neighbors and family members rush into the house. I mean, they had to break down the bathroom door. And once they did, they find Roy Thomas, father of two, husband of Jolly, first son of the Thomas family of the Pink House, dead. But it wasn't just that he was found dead. His mouth was open and there was a foam, like a white frothy substance spilling out of it. Before Roy Thomas could even be declared dead, which he would be very quickly, the whispers already start traveling around the town. Did you hear? The oldest of the Thomas siblings, he died. I mean, just suddenly. They're saying it's a heart attack. He was only 40. Poor Jolly. And their two boys, still so young. Leela heard those whispers too. She rushed home that night that her brother passed, but also she heard other conversations take place. Private ones. She saw Jolly faint and family members huddling in a corner. They're trying to keep their tones hushed so that Jolly doesn't hear. Roy had always been a big drinker, and it had only gotten worse lately. There was also that black magic stuff that apparently he was into. Jolly said that he had debts, like thousands of dollars of debt, and it's pretty obvious. He took his own life. Well, we're just going to have to tell everyone that it was a heart attack. If the town finds out that he self-exited, leaving his wife and children with his debt, it's going to tarnish the family name. The boys are already traumatized as it is. Why would we put them through that? And at the time, Leela believed it. It kind of made sense. Even Leela helped keep everything under wraps. I mean, she would repeat the family cover. He had a heart attack. It was unfortunate. Genetic heart condition. Might run in the family. We miss him oh so very much. Jolly's doing her best to raise her children as a single mom. But over time, as Leela keeps repeating the story, she realizes with each retelling, she believes it less and less. 3 deaths in the Pink House? What are the odds? Her mom, then her dad, and then her brother? She requested his autopsy. Time of death, 11:20 p.m. Stomach contents, curry and rice, undigested. Cause of death, cyanide poisoning. Leela's hands grip the paper. Her mind is racing. Wait. No, she had a conversation with Jolly the night of Roy's death. She remembers it so vividly. I mean, yeah, she's thick in her grief and shock at that time, but she remembered it because it's important. Jolly had told her, Roy came home at around 3 p.m. For lunch, he had curry and rice. Then at night, he said that he wasn't hungry, so I went to the kitchen to fry up some eggs, and that's when he walked into the restroom. When I was done, I tried to get him to come out, but he wouldn't even open the bathroom door. She had said that, but that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't match up with the autopsy results. The autopsy stated that his death was 11:20 p.m. There were undigested food in his stomach, curry and rice. But Jolly had told her that he ate the curry at around 3 p.m. There's no way it would still be undigested at the time of his death. So why on earth would she lie about something like that? About what he had for dinner or what time he ate? Because cyanide. Cyanide takes effect almost instantly after exposure. Leela did think it was odd that her brother would choose to self-exit with cyanide. It's a very difficult to obtain poison, and it feels like utter hell to ingest. Like, why would he do that to himself? Leela's mind starts racing, and she's putting two and two together. If Roy hadn't eaten dinner and just lunch, the food in his stomach would have already been digested, but it wasn't. The food had to have been eaten later, for dinner. But Jolly said he didn't have dinner. She said, at night, he didn't have dinner. At night, he didn't have dinner. At night, he didn't have dinner. Leela remembered her repeating this same story to every single person that she met. Leela was racing to the pink house to get her nephews out of there before it was too late. Because the killer is in the house with them. It was their own mother, Jolly. She screamed into the phone, "Do not eat anything under any circumstances. There might be cyanide in your house. Your mother might try to kill you." Leela remembers all the love letters that her brother received, her brother Roy. They were probably somewhere inside of that pink house. They were full of flattery, promises of the future, and at the end of each letter was a signature, Jolly Joseph, with cute little loopy letters and hearts. Everything ended with Jolly. Leela had already gone to the police by this point. She turned in everything that she could as evidence. She rushes to her old family home, and when she gets there, her nephews, the entire house is a mess. There is insects everywhere, dirty dishes, rotting food. The smell is pungent. Leela barely notices. She rushes into her nephew's room. "Bring only what's important to you. Quickly, we have to go." As they're leaving, the sky flashes bright, lightning, and then boom, thunder strikes.
So how long after was this? Like, the mom, dad, husband all died in like what kind of time span?
6 years.
So it's a long process.
She would not be caught for 14 years.
And when was Leela like trying to get the kids out?
14 years later, since her mom's death.
Oh, this is like complete out of the blue.
Yeah.
Type of
because of a
rescue.
Funeral.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into it. So thunder strikes. Leela stops momentarily at the gates of the pink house. The pink house, it used to always remain unlocked. It would welcome anyone in for a warm meal or a place to stay. Every Christmas, the pink house used to turn into this pink and green color because of the Christmas lights. It used to be a home. But now the place looks abandoned and sinister more than anything else. Like, the pink house was where most of her family members had died, and everything started and ended with Jolly. Leela looks back at the gate and then at the sky, and she says, "I did what I could." It was a message for her family. They were all dead. Jolly had killed almost all of them, but Leela felt like they could hear her. They were with her. They were encouraging her to take Jolly down. Her mom, her dad, her brother, her uncle, baby Alphine, and even Silly. Silly gets up from the bed when she hears the front door ring. She looks over at the calendar hanging on the wall. It had been 2 years since her baby Alphine had died in a freak choking accident at her son's party. 2 years of just her feeling like a zombie, just shuffling around, moving around people, trying to smile so that other people feel comfortable around you and trying to regain some sort of control over life. Silly was trying to get pregnant again. She thought, maybe if I have another girl, maybe Alphine would live inside of her, She would live on. But even that wasn't working out. She had been on holistic medicines to keep up her chances, but her body was weak. She had been hospitalized a few times since her daughter's death, which initially she thought it was stress or perhaps depression, but she presented the same symptoms as her baby girl: difficulty swallowing, stomach burning, headache, nausea. It's like baby Alphine was trying to tell her something from the grave. Or maybe she was upset with her mom for letting this happen. Regardless, Celie gets up, walks to the door. Her friend was supposed to come over that day and try to cheer her up. She was really the only support system that Silly had. It doesn't get rid of any of the pain, but it does help her feel not so alone. She turns the lock to the front door, opens it wide, and smiles softly. "Hey, Jolly." It was a small gathering. Some people would argue it's a family gathering, but that's besides the point. Jolly's there moving through the crowd, smiling and nodding. I mean, even after everything that she's been through, her first husband, Roy, dead mysteriously, and now she's a single mom of 2, it sucks. Even after all that tragedy, though, Jolly is still able to try and be jolly. She's bright, and she's got the ability to talk to anybody and hold a gripping conversation, but today, she seems distracted. If you were in a conversation with her, she would keep looking away. And then her eyes would follow someone from across the room while you're talking to her. And she, yeah. No, I've never been there before. She slides up to her relative. I want to marry someone like him. What? Look at him. He's so peaceful, calm. She's motioning her head towards Shaju Zacharias. Jolly's relative is a little bit shocked. I mean, confused really, because everyone at the gathering knew that Shaju was married and had 2 children of his own. But not only that, Shaju is technically Jolly's cousin. But that's a technicality, right? He's not really her blood cousin. And technically, she's done it before when she married her first husband, Roy. Roy was Jolly's cousin by marriage. They got married. Roy died mysteriously. Shaju is Roy's cousin. And now Jolly wants to marry her deceased husband's cousin. But since her deceased husband was her distant cousin, she married her cousin, then met her cousin's cousin. Roy Thomas was the firstborn son of the Thomas family. The Thomas parents, they had been going down a mental checklist of all the potential wives for Roy that they recently saw. They never got around to playing matchmaker just quite yet, but they knew that the clock is ticking. He's got to get married soon. They know that. They just didn't know that Roy would walk into the pink house with a woman standing next to him, ready to introduce her. Hi, Mom and Dad. I'd like you to meet my fiance. Roy's parents are staring at him like he sprouted a second head. Son, that is your cousin. The first time Jolly and Roy met was at a family function as well, but they didn't know that they were cousins at that point. So again, technically, they're not blood cousins. They're cousins by marriage through Uncle Manny. Uncle Manny is Roy's blood uncle, his mom's brother. Uncle Manny is also Jolly's uncle because he married Jolly's aunt.
Does that happen usually, you think?
I think it's not encouraged, for sure. I'm sure it does happen, and I'm sure it can be love, and technically it's not. I don't know. Genetically, does that? I don't think so. I think it just makes it a little bit confusing. I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't necessarily cast judgment. It's just a little, I think it'd be interesting to adjust for the whole family.
So for this case, it was like, did you know she married technically her cousin?
Yeah, and then would marry her cousin's cousin. So there's a lot going on. So Uncle Manny and Roy, blood relations. Uncle Manny and Jolly, family relations through marriage. Both Jolly and Roy were invited to Uncle Manny's housewarming, where they walked in and there were just likely coconuts everywhere. Coconuts are one of the more popular housewarming gifts in India. It's supposed to bring good luck and positive energy into the home. They're hovering over a table of coconuts, staring into each other's eyes, and it's love at first sight. They try to fight it because, they're cousins, but after countless late-night secret phone calls and these little love letters that they would write to each other's houses, there was no denying it. They were going to get married and live happily ever after, not as cousins, but as husband and wife. Roy's parents stared at Roy and Jolly, who are now sitting on their living room couch. Tom Thomas is like, no. What do you mean, no? No. Yeah, I mean, no. Tom Thomas, Roy's dad, did not like this even a little bit. Anne, the mom, on the other hand, she was quiet the whole time. She was thinking. Anne's a teacher, which, side note, obviously being a teacher anywhere is a big deal and you're literally guiding the future generations. But in India, it's a bit more of a prestigious job than the US. It's a lot harder of a position to get, and teachers are often referred to as gurus of India. So while teachers in the US are appreciated, they might not be as respected as teachers in India. So keep that in mind. Now, Tom was also in the education field. He was an officer for the state's education department for the local town. Everyone comes to this couple for advice. That's why they have an open door policy. But in the pink house, when it's just them, Tom turns to Anne. She's the matriarch of the family. And Tom would wait for Anne's word. I like her. Every trick question that Anne had set up for Jolly to trip on, she passed. What do your parents do for work again? Oh, they're humble farmers, but they're well respected in our town for their unwavering dedication to the harvest and, of course, their hard work. What about school? I was the first in my family to attend college. I graduated with a Master's of Commerce. That's basically a master's degree in business. It is very, very impressive. A higher degree than Roy, their own son. Anne could see herself having intellectually stimulating conversations with Jolly. I mean, both of them are headstrong, independent women who have a vision of their own that's separate from men. And they could be the guiding future for all the other girls in their small town to freaking go after what they want with such aggression that men will step out of the way for you. Anne could see them getting along really well. She smiled at Jolly. Meanwhile, Jolly smiled back and she looked around at the spacious living room, the servants preparing tea for them in the kitchen, ushering it over, placing it in front of Jolly to drink. The minute that she's done and that empty teacup lands on the coffee table, it's whisked back away into the kitchen. Not a single dirty teacup lingering on the coffee table or any surface of this house. She smiles back at Anne because she could see herself living here with all the staff tending to her every need. She felt right at home already. Unfortunately, there is only room for one head of the house. If there were guidelines, like a rule book on being the best daughter-in-law, Jolly could have written it. The rules are technically endless, but if you had to nail at least 4 of the crucial ones, you'd be set. 1, be the family therapist. Listen to everyone's problems and offer not the best advice. Offer the advice that they want to hear. Jolly was even winning Tom over with this role. He's coming around and seeing her as a confidant, an asset to the Thomas family, an asset to the Pink House. 2, never be disagreeable, but always get your way. The art of gentle manipulation and persuasion. Mom, mother-in-law, you have such a classic, timeless sense of style. I mean, this floral arrangement is incredible. But I did see a similar one at Valerie's party the other day, and I was thinking maybe we could add some more modern touches to really showcase how you always set the trends for everyone in the town. You lead and the town follows. 3, learn to cook an unforgettable dish. Mother, I'm telling you, you have not lived until you've tried my mutton soup. I've got a secret blend of spices that will warm you from the inside out. I mean, it's positively to die for. And 4, be resourceful and solve problems before they arise. Oh, and probably the most important rule, like it's so important it doesn't even need a spot on the list, is secure your place in the family and be the one to carry on the family name. Jolly Joseph was pregnant with the Thomases' very first grandbaby. Anne is smiling down at her newborn grandbaby, a grandson. She looks up at Jolly with just so much pride in her eyes. You did so good. You handled that birth perfectly. I am so proud of you. Jolly gives her mother-in-law a weak smile back. I mean, she had done it. She had really done it. She couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, it was just right. The timing, too, it was perfect. Anne had been nagging her to get a job recently. Put that master's degree to use. But Jolly has no such desire to work. I mean, if she was going to work, why did she move into the Pink House and marry jobless Roy? That doesn't make sense. So now with the delivery of the Thomases' first grandson, Jolly would have all the rights, all the power in the Pink House. The mother of the first grandbaby would not have to work. She would have the luxury to kick her feet up on the coffee table, lounge around, and have the staff care for her and her baby and whatever she wants on the whim. Jolly is watching Anne fawn over her baby. This is perfect, Jolly. I'm absolutely in love with this baby. Now you can get a job and let me retire to watch your child forever. What? The plan has backfired. Jolly would stall. She doesn't want to go to work, so instead she went and got a teaching certificate in another town. That took about a year. Then when she got back, she started with the excuses. Well, the baby is so small, who's going to take care of him? Anne would sit there listening to the compiled list of reasons that Jolly would prepare for her, on why she can't work. It likely went something along the lines of, I know you mean well, but I think right now the priority is the baby, critical for bonding. And you know what they say, I need to be there for the feeding and the moments. And can you imagine? Research shows how important it is for babies to have a strong attachment to their mothers. And I don't want to miss out on my body needs time to heal, and then the sleepless night. Childcare is very pricey. Not many teaching jobs in this area, So I think, you know what I think, right? When Jolly was done, she looked up and she would see Anne smiling at her. She hasn't said a single word in this conversation. Mother, we got a job interview for you. Shit. And pulled some strings to get Jolly an interview for a teaching position at the local school. It honestly would have been like hot knife through butter, easy, but Jolly comes back from the interview, tail tucked between her legs. I'm not sure why they rejected me on the spot. Anne and Tom Thomas, they're confused. Why would they do that? Jolly is perfect for the job. If anything, she's overqualified. Oh my God. Because she's a new mom. They're discriminating. They think that her son is going to hold her back in life. And you know what? We're going to prove them wrong. Jolly just nodded, but she knew that's not why she wasn't hired. She didn't get the job because she never showed up for the interview. How do you apply for a teaching position when you don't even have a teaching certificate? Jolly also knew that if she said no once more to her mother-in-law, she would be considered disagreeable, difficult to be around, and that would go against the rules of being a good daughter-in-law. What are the main 4 ones again? 1, be the family therapist. 2, never be disagreeable but always get your way. 3, learn to cook an unforgettable dish. And 4, be resourceful and solve problems before they arise. Jolly was creative. It was a skill that had served her really well her whole life, and it was going to again, right now. Jolly was just starting to get frustrated because she just couldn't get the dosages right. Yeah, and it was frustrating her. Anne just wasn't dying. She had to give it to her. Anne was holding on. The first time Jolly tried to kill Anne, it wasn't enough at all. Anne just complained about indigestion, closed the door to her room, and she was good after a good night's rest. The second time, Jolly upped the dosage, and when Anne started convulsing, rushed to the hospital. Jolly's thinking second time's the charm, but one hospital visit, some ancient holistic medicine later, Anne gets right back to nagging Jolly's ear off about going back to work. So maybe it's not the amount. Maybe it's the drug. Up until now, Jolly had been using whatever she could get her hands on, just around the house, around the neighborhood. So it's time to change it up. Time to test out a new drug. She needed something stronger. Dog kill. Jolly remembered her dad used it on a childhood pet of theirs once. He didn't like how the dog was such a nuisance to the visitors, so he killed it. But obviously it's deadly, which makes it not the easiest thing to obtain, and Jolly would have to travel to a completely different town, use a fake name, make an excuse, ask for a prescription for dog kill, beg for a prescription for dog. The dog in town has rabies. It's gonna hurt a small child eventually. Unless, then Jolly would travel to another town, to a separate pharmacy to pick up the prescription. Now, if that's not resourceful, I don't know what is. She even tested on her other precious pet. And she loved that dog. She really did. I mean, she took no joy in seeing the dog withering away in pain for 4 hours. First 2 hours, the dog started barking like crazy and running around in circles in a frenzy. Its eyes were blown out and wild. Within the next 2 hours, it was collapsed on the ground with its limbs wrought out in these uncontrollable, jerky movements growing more and more violent by the second. She did not enjoy that. Probably. But at least she knew that it worked. Jolly had been the definition of the perfect daughter-in-law. 1, be the family therapist. 2, never be disagreeable, but always get your way. And be resourceful and solve problems before they arise. And wait, there's one that she's missing. Rule number 3, learn to cook an unforgettable dish. Her specialty, mutton soup. The key to her dish was the perfect blend of spices, turmeric, coriander, masala, and pepper. Most recipes would suggest serving the soup hot with rice or bread, but Jolly would be serving it with an extra ingredient, specially for Anne. Dog kill. It would be an unforgettable dish. Jolly's routine every day was meticulous. The alarm would go off. She would swing her legs off the bed. They would hit the floor with a thud. The morning routine was simple. Brush teeth, wash face, get ready, make sure the kids have breakfast, drive to work, going over lesson plans. Jolly's a professor at NIT, which is the top engineering school in all of India. She got a new job.
Wait, she did have a job?
She gets a new job.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the best engineering school in India, and she's a professor there. The questions she's getting for her lesson plans, I mean, they're intense. These are not just like random hee-hee-ha-ha college students. They're the top minds from all over India, and she's teaching them. If she thought about it too hard, she would have a panic attack, so she would push it to the back of her mind. Get to school, start her lessons, take a quick working lunch break, get back in her car, drive 20 minutes back home while on the phone with students, faculty members, parents. She would almost always walk in through the front doors of the pink house. Did you take the book from my desk? No, it's fine. If it's from the right stack, just remember to bring it back after you reviewed the lessons, okay? Okay, yes, I'll see you tomorrow in class. She hangs up. Jolly's kids, they never felt like she gave them any attention, really. I mean, she's always just going over lesson plans, on the phone with her boss, grading papers. She would sit there with a stack of papers, a bright red pen, and when one of the kids would try and play with her, get some of her attention, she would put the red pen down, pick up her child, walk into a room, here you go, play with your dad. Then Jolly would start her second shift. She would take off the school name tag from around her neck, throw on a cardigan over her work outfit, settle down on the cushy chair in the study, and she would start going through the family finances, making sure that everything was balancing at the end. In her favor, that is. A new shift that she took on after Anne died. Then, when she was done with that night shift, she would start her third shift. She would change into her night clothes. She starts making dinner, curry for Roy. The kids had their phases of different foods that they ate, and of course, mashed tapioca every single evening for her father-in-law. I mean, it's hard. It's hard as a mom of two to take on all these different shifts. She felt like she was being spread really thin, but she did it for the family. And all that's to say is she just doesn't have a lot of extra time, and she definitely doesn't have any time for all of the neighborhood gossip. Did you hear? Jolly's trying to be Anne 2.0. Trying to replace her. It's just weird. She started dressing like Anne, but better. I mean, it's clear that she spends a lot of money on clothes. And how much money do you think the professors at NIT even get paid? You think it's from the Thomas's family funds that she's using? Well, you know how she's been gaining more influence in the family? Look, I don't know. I'm just saying she's looking like Anne. She's acting like Anne. I mean, Thomas single could be influenced by a nice young woman in the house. It might be the smart thing to do. Ew, no, that's clearly very, very false and fake and just gross. She is having an affair, but it's not with her father-in-law. She's sleeping with her cousin. Jolly was allegedly having an affair with Roy's cousin. Not Shaju. That would be crazy. Shaju's married. He's got children. But a cousin named Matthew, Roy's closest relative. They call him Roy's philosopher because he always gives Roy such good advice.
So she's sleeping with another cousin.
Yes. Matthew is laying in his cousin Roy's bed with his cousin Roy's wife, Jolly. She rolls over in bed, brings up the blanket with one hand to cover herself, and just props her head up with the other. Don't you guys use cyanide to clean gold? Matthew turns to look at his cousin's wife while he grabs his shirt. I mean, yeah, why? Jolly kicks her feet up behind her. It's just so annoying. It's inconvenient. I just wish I had some way to get rid of them quickly, and easily. The rats. There's just a few rats in the house that I need to get rid of. Matthew looks at her kind of strangely. Cyanide is not a super common method used to kill rats. It's a little overkill, in his opinion. But he shrugs. If it gets the job done, right? I suppose. But getting the cyanide for Jolly wasn't going to be a walk in the park. It's regulated. You can't just pick it up at the store. Not to mention, it's not that cheap. He would have to go directly to his boss, Praji, the owner of the local jewelry store that Matthew works at. I mean, Praji has a permit to get cyanide because you can use it to separate gold. But Matthew knew that Praji was someone that likes a good deal. So he thought of everything that Praji would want in a deal. 2 bottles of cyanide in exchange for 2 bottles of liquor, $60, and a night with Jolly.
Wow.
The use of shrooms is illegal in most countries, including the United States and India. But at any rate, the mushrooms that Jolly had were not magical. They were just regular old mushroom powder in these plastic capsules. Mushroom supplements. They're anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, stress relieving, helps to improve energy levels and boost immunity. And it's all natural. But also, so is cyanide, is it not? Okay, maybe not. But you can find it naturally in very minimal doses in apple seeds and cherry pits. And so it's justifiable.
You say cyanide is in the apple?
Apple pits, yeah.
Oh.
You'd have to eat like 300 apples, though, to get cyanide poisoning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And right now, Jolly is hovering over the kitchen counter, emptying out one of the capsules into the trash. She packs in some white powder instead. Jolly is undeniably Thomas's new favorite family member. He had originally been the most against Jolly's marriage to his firstborn son, Roy. But now that Jolly had moved in and his wife had died, he'd really come to lean on Jolly a lot. She really stepped up to the plate, filled that caregiver role gap that Anne had left behind. She made sure that he took his medicine, ate well, spent time outdoors. Some neighbors thought it was so sweet. They even said that Tom treated her more like his daughter by blood rather than daughter by marriage. But Jolly thought their relationship was a little bit different. Jolly knew that she had Tom in the palm of her hand. If she wanted him to transfer all the money from those sales into her account, he would do it. And he would throw in most of his life savings as well. If she wanted him to change his will so that it would favor her and her husband Roy, he would do it. Jolly loved it. He was like her little puppet. And now Jolly just needed her puppet to dance for her one last time. The morning of March 26, 2008, 6 p.m. It's an hour before prayer, and it's also time for Tom to take his daily mushroom capsule. Jolly walks into Tom's study. Tom is hunched over the papers on his desk. He's been so busy helping a few teachers from the nearby schools figure out their taxes. Tom, your pills. Tom looks up from his work and his eyes just find Jolly's face. He beams and he brings his arms up outstretched dramatically. What would I do without you, Jolly? Jolly hands him the capsules with water, smiling back at him. No, it was more what she could do without him. Tom obediently swallows the capsule and returns to work. But immediately he starts feeling a little dizzy. He tries to take a big, deep breath to steady himself, but the dizziness only intensifies. He clutches the desk in front of him. His heart starts racing. He's anxious. He's like, Jolly, Jolly? Jolly is by his side. She's unnervingly calm. Yes, Tom? Suddenly, there's a sharp pain that's just tearing through his chest. He falls over on his chair, doubling over, and Jolly's just watching as her father-in-law is vomiting all over the floor, all over her feet. He begins to convulse uncontrollably as if his limbs are being jerked around like strings, like he's a puppet, and then his body goes still. He would be pronounced dead at the hospital. Leela, the daughter, would later question Jolly. Why did it take so long for him to be taken to the hospital? I just don't get it. Jolly shrugged. I couldn't find the car keys, so it took some time. Tom's cause of death was ruled a heart attack. Just like his wife Anne 6 years prior, their son Roy, Jolly's husband, would follow 3 years later by self-exit. The Pink House is starting to gain a reputation. 3 sudden deaths in a family within 9 years, all under suspicious circumstances, but somehow all explained away. It's almost as if the priest's words were coming true. If you don't put up a wall around the well, 3 people will die. Poor Jolly. Her beloved family members taken out one after the other. Maybe she should have listened to the omens. Does your left palm itch? If it does, you should watch your spending. Go find your wallet, hold it tight. Or when's the last time you cut your nails at night? Be careful because they say every time you clip your nails, you're cutting your chances of joining your loved ones in the happy afterlife. Or have you recently seen a black butterfly? I mean, no big deal or anything, but that just basically means that your impending death is near. These are all the bad omens that some people believe in. Even if you don't subscribe to these beliefs, you have to admit they're kind of in the back of your mind once you know them. No? Tonight, so if you decide to cut your nails while watching this video, you might second guess for a split second. Wait, should I just wait till morning? Maybe while you cut your nails at night, the whole house is quiet and you feel like every little click you hear a creak downstairs. Maybe not. Leela is not a superstitious person, and today is not a superstitious day. Leela is smiling so many times that her entire face feels so sore. It's a happy day. She's staring at her new sister-in-law in her beautiful wedding gown. I mean, the sight alone is confirmation. Superstitions are incorrect and not at all an indicator of anything. Leela tries to be in the moment. Her older brother Roy is finally getting married, and it's the love marriage, not an arranged marriage, which nothing's wrong with that. It's actually the norm, but it's kind of intriguing. It's exciting for the Thomas family. Leela, being the sister of the groom, should be the one of the happiest. She's finally going to get a sister in the Pink House. The boys are no longer going to outnumber her and her mom. She's going to have an ally. But every 2 seconds, when Leela tries to enjoy the celebrations, she would have this intrusive thought pop up in her mind. Bad omen. She tries to shake it out of her head. I mean, there's no such thing as bad omens. There's just love and happy marriages. But as she looks out the window of the church, there's this nagging feeling. One might call it intuition, but it's like this pulling in her stomach. She stares out at the gray window. Rain. Rain is bad. On a normal day, rain is merely an inconvenience. On a wedding day, they say that every single raindrop is the tear of the spirits that have been betrayed, left behind, and killed by their lovers on their wedding day. Every little raindrop that falls is filled with misery, and when it falls and hits the newlywed couple, it gets absorbed into their wedding vows, into their wedding gowns, their suits, even their skin. The newlywed couple are now taking in all that pain, anger, sorrow, regret of the angry spirits. They're just raining down on them, jealous of happiness. That's what they say about rain on wedding days. Leela tries to shake the feeling because this is just goofy. Roy, her brother, is happy. Jolly is the best sister-in-law that she could have asked for. She's incredibly humble, kind, educated, beautiful. She is the dream girl for Roy. But even after the wedding, even after the death of Ann Thomas, Leela's mom, the death of Tom Thomas, Leela's dad, the death of Roy Thomas, Leela's brother, Jolly's wife, even after all of that, even after Jolly tried to legally fight Leela and her other surviving brother Arnav for the ownership of the Thomas family lands and the Pink House, even after all that, Leela just tries to see Jolly for who she is. Family. Her Jolly sister-in-law. Some people are just very, very unlucky. Neighbors whispered that death stuck to Jolly Joseph like a wet t-shirt. That's what they said. 3 deaths in the Pink House. If you sat there filling in some sort of timeline, I mean, it all starts after Jolly Joseph moves in. She just might be bad luck. After she moves in, Ann Thomas dies. Then Tom Thomas dies. Then her husband, Roy Thomas, dies, leaving her a single mom of 2. I mean, she must have done something horrendous in a past life because the stars are just not working in her favor. Uncle Manny did not agree with the baseless rumors. Uncle Manny is Roy's blood uncle, but he's also Jolly's uncle by marriage. And he's also a very reasonable and understanding man. He knew that his niece Jolly is trying her best with the really shitty cards that she's dealt. When Anne died, she stepped up to the plate. She took care of the family finances. She worked twice as hard to manage all their investments. When Tom died, the father-in-law, she was devastated. And her husband Roy never wanted to get a job, but she loved that man. I mean, that's crazy. Uncle Manny would defend Jolly to anybody. Well, at least that was before Uncle Manny remembered Tom's funeral. So after Tom died, the second death in the Thomas family, at his funeral, everybody's dressed in black, not a single smile in the crowd. And if you were there, thick in the middle of your own grief, maybe you don't notice the strange thing. But Uncle Manny did. He noticed it. Jolly is standing there grieving her father-in-law, wiping the tears from her eyes. And in the corner of Uncle Manny's eyes, he spots Matthew, just staring at Jolly. Why would Jolly's husband's cousin be staring at her like that? I mean, there was just something there in the look that he's giving her. And then later, they're talking, but like their closeness, the way that their bodies turn at the same time to greet another relative, the way that their bodies seem so naturally in sync, that's not normal for people unless they know each other intimately. It was weird. Usually you're very awkward and clunky with new people. Uncle Manny is just sitting there wondering, why is this bothering him so much? I mean, technically, they're family members. Matthew is Roy's cousin. Why is this such a big deal? Because Uncle Manny remembered. Tom had told him a while back that he suspected Jolly of sleeping with Roy's cousin, Matthew. Uncle Manny didn't really take it too seriously because Tom's getting older. Maybe he's paranoid. I mean, that can't be true. How ridiculous would that be to sleep with your cousin? But after Roy's death, after her husband's death, Uncle Manny is starting to get a vibe, and he doesn't like it. He had a lot of suspicions about Jolly, and he wanted to do something about it. He starts talking about it. He starts calling relatives to tell them his thoughts. February 24th, 2014, Uncle Manny would be found dead. There was a lunch sitting cold on his dining table, a special curry made by Jolly. It was not touched. Because curry isn't the only dish that cyanide can be mixed into. In Uncle Manny's liquor cabinet was a half-finished bottle of whiskey. Cyanide.
So she did put cyanide in both?
Just the whiskey.
Not the curry?
No.
Huh.
Because she thought maybe the last one there was curry. I don't want to do it again.
Oh, wow.
But
there was a curry.
There was a curry.
Made by her.
Sitting on the dining table.
That's crazy. Wow.
There are a number of rules that chefs have to follow in the kitchen. One interesting one, usually that's only found in high-pressure Michelin-starred kitchens, is the no-talking rule, which means exactly what it sounds like. During service, kitchen staff must work in complete silence, communicating only through nods, gestures, and brief eye contact. The purpose of this rule is to maintain absolute focus and minimize distractions and ensure that every dish is executed flawlessly, which sounds really unhinged. But then again, this is just at some fancy restaurants, right? The basics, everybody knows that. Wash your hands before and after touching anything. Keep your nails trimmed and clean. Make sure you don't have any open cuts. Jolly knew these rules well. She's a great cook. But to be honest, Jolly followed these rules more when she was out of the kitchen. These rules were essential in preventing accidental cyanide poisoning through skin contact. Because Jolly handled cyanide regularly, she would have to stick to these rules like they were a life code. She was trying to be safe about killing, and she had allegedly succeeded 6 times. Anne, Tom, Roy, Uncle Manny, baby Alphine, and now Silly's murder was the most risky. It happened in the waiting room of a dentist office with patients all around. Even Silly's own son was there. Here, take one of these. It's a mushroom capsule. It'll help with the headache. Silly had gratefully taken the mushroom capsule from Jolly and gulped it down with some water. Minutes later, she began convulsing, struggling to breathe, and she would die just like that, just like the others. The son is screaming and crying all the way to the hospital. I mean, his mom, just 2 years after his sister died, his mom dies. Jolly's holding her breath, though, because she could have sworn she saw Silly's son looking at her when she offered his mom the pills. Thank God the doctors thought it was epilepsy. But now's not the time to think about that, okay? It's a special day. Jolly and Shaju are getting married. Exactly 1 year after Silly's death, February 2017. After their intimate wedding, Shaju and his son would move into the pink house. They would slam the gates closed and seclude themselves from the world. I mean, at this point, the whispers, they're not even whispers. They're straight up screams about the house, the family death, the curse, and the new marriage of the two cousins, Jolly and Shaju. I mean, most people do not agree with this marriage. Even Silly's parents were disgusted that their son-in-law could just move on so quickly. But also with Jolly, it's just strange. The neighbors were whispering about the two cousins as well, so they just shut themselves into the pink house and started this new life together. But old habits die hard. Shaju rolls over in bed one night, rubs his eyes, and he sees Jolly whispering and smiling while holding a phone up to her ear. It was odd. He tried to ask Jolly about it, but she would just shrug it off. He demanded to see her phone, but she absolutely refused. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Shaju thinks that Jolly is cheating. And she probably is, right? Because the past is hard to let go of. It's comfortable. It's an old sweater that you just can't get rid of. But Leela Thomas, she's not letting go of the past either. Her brother's widow is now moving on and marrying their cousin. It's weird. Everything about this is odd. The Thomas family, I mean, it was perfectly fine until she came into their lives. That's when the death started. Sure, you could call it unlucky, but what if it's not? Leela knows what she saw at Silly's funeral. Silly is Shaju's wife. The weird energy, like all of that. Silly's family and friends had come over to her house for Silly's wake, if you will. And Jolly is there, ushering people in, putting coasters on the table as if this is her house, as if she's the lady of the house, the wife. Jolly's managing everything, the food, the flower arrangements, getting Silly ready for the funeral. I mean, it's odd. You would think that Shaju and Jolly are a couple and Silly was Jolly's sister or something. When Jolly wasn't busy micromanaging every aspect of the funeral, she would just burst into tears, uncontrollably crying, and then done. She'd go back to funeral arrangements and then go back to crying. A lot of people were also whispering, why does she seem the saddest? Like, it's weird. I get it. It's her friend, but it's just point blank bizarre. Leela said, I stood there looking at all of this and I still remember how disturbed I felt. I wasn't even concentrating on the dead body. I was looking at Jolly moving around, bringing things from the other room, doing all the things, and I just saw her face for a strange moment, and I just felt weird. I mean, I felt like she actually had this happiness. I mean, somewhere it reflected on Jolly's face at the funeral. Like, I felt it. I just stood there, and a spark struck my mind, and I connected. Silly had died. For what? For Shaju to be single? No. Did Silly die because of Jolly? The thought disturbed me instantly and immensely, and I wondered if perhaps the baby was also a hindrance. Baby Alphine, who was sick, even if Silly alone dies and Jolly remarries Shaju, she would be obligated to care for their sick child, which would undoubtedly hold Jolly's life back. I knew something wasn't right. But that just can't be possible, right? Leela starts connecting the dots, all the deaths. The only person that wins every single time is Jolly. It just doesn't make any sense. With Anne, she became the matriarch, the head of the investments. Tom's death, she had an inheritance. Roy's death, she got Roy's inheritance. Baby Alphine, maybe she doesn't want to take care of a baby because she wants to marry Shaju. And then Shaju's wife? What? Leela's eyes went big and she lifts her head to stare at Jolly at the funeral, who she sees. Jolly is walking straight up to Silly's coffin, right next to Shaju. They both lean down and kiss Silly on each side of her cheek, the both of them. At the same time, a final goodbye. The funeral goers started looking from side to side, eyes wide. What the hell was that about? That was a shocking gesture. Silly had just passed, but it looks like these two, they look like a couple. I mean, they look like a couple that have been together for a while. What does that mean?
So they're not hiding it at this point. And everybody knows, they know, they're just putting it out.
Leela thought it meant her whole life had been a lie. She had to do something about it. She goes home after the funeral, calls her other brother, Arnav. I'm going to ask for a copy of Roy's postmortem. She discovered in the autopsy that he had undigested curry in his stomach, but that doesn't align with what Jolly said, remember?
Yeah.
Leela and Arnav, Roy's siblings, Jolly's brother and sister-in-law, they went to the police and demanded an exhumation of 6 people. They believe that Jolly had killed 6 people in their family. And none of this is going to be easy. The deaths happened in the span of 14 years between the first and the last murder. It would be difficult to even exhume some of the bodies. And even if they had been poisoned with cyanide is more of a here then gone type of thing. It doesn't linger in the body for very long. Cyanide metabolizes in the body very quickly. And once that happens, it becomes very hard to detect. Additionally, the longer a body has been buried in the ground, the more likely that the cyanide has actually seeped out of their bodies and into the surrounding soil. Experts on this case said, it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. Trying to find cyanide in a decomposed body, that's difficult. So with those odds and the added element of exhuming a body in Christianity, the town actually was really upset at the siblings for requesting such a thing. They were like, you're going to put your whole family's souls through that for what? The tiniest sliver of a chance that you might find something? Which, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So they had this feeling 16 years later?
Yeah, 14 years later.
14 years later. Yeah. So they weren't thinking about poisoning before.
I think Anne and Thomas, they were elderly, and because they had Anne had gone to the hospital multiple times, nobody knew that it was her being poisoned. They thought that she was having a natural decline in her health. Yeah. Same with Tom Thomas, the father. Roy Thomas, everybody did believe it was a self-exit. When it comes to Uncle Manny, I think that maybe Leela did not connect all of them together. Yeah, and I don't think that generally you would imagine that you have a serial killer in the family.
Yeah, and it was a spanning of 6 years, 3 years,
9 years for 3 victims. Yeah. So it's not back to back where she's so suspicious. Yeah. It's weird. And the neighbors are like, you're not even gonna find anything because look at Jolly. She's Jolly. Besides, the 2 siblings, they've got something to gain from all of this. Jolly has the pink house. She's got Tom's money. They're gonna frame her for the murders and take back what is theirs. Or at least that's what some of the people were saying. They stopped saying it when cyanide was found in Silly, Shaju's wife's body. October 5th, 2019, Jolly Joseph would be arrested in the pink house. Early hours of the morning in front of her 2 sons, Remo and Reynolds. She was 47 when she was arrested. She was 33 when she committed her very first murder. And that is the story of Jolly Joseph. Or at least that's what the prosecutors, the media, and the general public believe has happened, more or less. But that doesn't mean that it's 100% true. That's just what I would consider the overwhelming majority of people and what they believe. The trial is still ongoing. And here's the interesting part. A lot of the information that we have is from Jolly herself. She confessed. But in India, a confession cannot be admissible in the court of law. In the US, that would solidify her guilt 10 times over to the prison and back, but not in India. Jolly has taken back everything that she's confessed to. She's hired a very controversial attorney, one that has a strong affinity, like a strong liking for representing. He literally sees violence against women and he's like, that's the guy that I want to protect. He said, why should anyone become a criminal lawyer if you're not going to represent all aspects of life for a criminal, including murder? And if one is not prepared to represent these aspects, it's better for one to opt for family court law, perhaps. Everybody has the legal right to defend their case. Anyway, he was hired to represent her in the trial, which she has pled not guilty. The attorney has stated that she confessed under duress. The police found a bottle of cyanide wrapped in cloth that was placed in the kitchen utensil drawer in that kitchen, but Jolly argued that they planted it. She said, if I did kill everyone, why would I keep the bottle of cyanide? The attorney has stated, with much respect to the honorable court and with respect to the prosecution, as a defense lawyer, after so many years, even saying that they found this substance in the house is beyond my imagination. To prove the allegations against Jolly, prosecution itself fabricated the potassium cyanide, the bottle that contained it, the place where it was hidden. I believe all of these things were framed for the purpose of this case. The attorney also stated that the police were playing dirty by encouraging a trial by media. They said police are collectively leaking information to media and they're spinning stories after stories, and I'm sure most of these charges will not stand before the court of law. But while her attorney is so busy at work, Jolly is confessing to a lot of people. Her brother stated that she confessed to him. He and his father, they're like, we don't know her anymore. She has been completely disowned. She confesses to her son, the police, in front of alleged witnesses. It's stated that she confessed to her alleged other boyfriend, the man who just goes by the name Johnson. Jolly did claim innocence on baby Alfine's murder, though. She said that the baby had nothing to do with her. She reacted, what would I get from killing a small child? The child is a minor. She will not be an obstacle to my marriage or anything like that. She confessed to her son, so she's confessing to a lot of people. Jolly's eldest son, who participated in the Netflix documentary, only refers to his mom as either Jolly by name or that woman. He said, it was unbelievable for me to think that she has committed so many murders because I had seen such things only in movies, never in real life. When I reached home, I found out that my house was empty except my brother, and then she came home. When the woman called Jolly returned home, I observed that she looked very tired, panic-stricken, and her inner mind was full of fear. I said that I need to speak with Jolly alone, and then I went into a room with her. After entering the room, I asked her, what's going on? I told her the news channels are all pointing their fingers in your direction. I mean, have there been mistakes on your part? Did you do it? Did you kill people? I'm asking you strongly, are you involved in these murders? He said that Jolly cried and replied in a panicked voice that she did not do anything wrong and she was not involved at all. I said, I want to know the truth. Tell me what happened. You've definitely done something and you have to tell me everything. She finally admitted that she committed the murders. Well, she said that she committed some mistakes. He said, so I asked her again, did you commit these murders? Tell me everything. Remo states that his mom admitted everything. She admitted to all 6 murders. And he states, I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to do. Until that day, we believed that the deaths of our close family members were natural. I had doubts until the very end. I can never see that person as my mother again. Also, I don't know if this part is kind of anticlimactic coming down from that because she just confessed to killing everybody. But she also does confess to not having a job. She went to the NIT job as a professor for 12 years. She did not have a job. We don't know what kind of paper she's grading. I don't know if she went to the library and printed out random papers and then started grading them in her free time. What's crazy is that her kid said that she was always working. She's not even doing fun stuff. It's not like she comes home from work to just lay on the bed. She's literally reading papers and grading papers.
Fake papers.
Fake papers. We have no idea what she did every day for 12 years straight. They tried to ask Jolly and she said that she went to this beauty spa. But when they asked the beauty spa people, they're like, I mean, we've seen her, but she hasn't been coming here every day for the past 12 years. Like, she's just a normal customer.
Crazy. She could have just stopped. She could have just said, okay, I stopped working now.
Yeah. She didn't for 12 years because it's a prestigious position.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unhinged. Netflix released a documentary called Curry and Cyanide, which is, yeah, I mean, a lot of people did say it was a wild name when they didn't know that Curry was actually involved. Yeah, that was the first controversy. Matthew.
What do you mean? They didn't?
They just thought it was an Indian case, so they called it Curry and Cyanide. And people were just thought the name was so unhinged and wild. But she actually did put cyanide in curry, it seems, allegedly. Now, Matthew, the cousin, tried to get the Netflix documentary banned. He filed for an intervention from the trial courts. He claimed that the documentary went over fake information, but his request was ultimately banned. So the Netflix doc is live. But even with the documentary, the trial underway, I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Like, where did Jolly go for the year that she was getting her teaching certificate if she didn't actually get her teaching certificate? Where did she go every day while she was at work at NIT for 12 years? We know that she borrowed money from Shaju's dad while she pretended to work because, you know, it's pretty hard to hide the fact that you don't have an income coming in. But how was she always in debt? She killed so many people for the purpose of money and she's still in debt? Like, what is her game plan? What's her motive?
Wait, so she's killing for money, or we're saying we don't know
We don't know. That's what people think that she's doing because that's the only motive that makes sense. It's like either killing for money, killing for convenience, or killing to just make sure you don't get caught. Mm-hmm. If she really did this all for money, she's working harder at killing and getting away with it than she would have just working a regular job. She's working 20 times harder.
Yeah.
And there's now a question of how many others were involved. There are a lot of questions about Shaju, the new husband, and his involvement in the death of his wife and child, because I guess netizens were wondering how he didn't see these red flags. And just the timing of everything, it felt like they were already together by the point that his wife died. Did he see them as holding him back in life as well? I don't know about all of that, but netizens do state it's weird that the doctors, they recommended for both his daughter and his wife to get an autopsy done. They're both like, this is not natural, like something weird happened. But he would say, no, it's okay. Like, I'm going to reject because it's just not something we do in the family. He also stated that he really only remarried Jolly because it sounded like it'd be a smart choice for him and his son. Because, you know, she's family. So they'd just be a big family. I guess the idea being that Shaju was a single dad with a son, Jolly's a single mom with 2 sons. They're already a family, so now they can blend into a family. I don't know. It's just intriguing. Some people think that Shaju was actually the next victim because his parents did have some money. So maybe it would have been a Roy situation where she kills Shaju. The police do not think that Shaju is involved at all, but a lot of netizens remain suspicious to say the least. Shaju did file for divorce after she was arrested. They did arrest also 3 accomplices, cousin Matthew, the one that Jolly was sleeping with that obtained the cyanide, Praji, the owner of the jewelry store that Matthew purchased the cyanide from, allegedly. Both parties are denying any involvement. And then Manoj Kumar, apparently he's a former politician from the area. He opened up his own real estate brokerage that Jolly invested a lot of her money into, and he was arrested for helping Jolly get a fake notary for Tom's will because she forged a portion of Tom's will. I guess the unanswered question is, how much did they really know? How involved were they? And the biggest question is, what if she's not actually guilty? There are some people that believe Jolly is innocent, that she was set up. They state that it doesn't make sense for Jolly to have committed these crimes and the police just want an easier target. They argue that Anne and Tom Thomas were already pretty ill at the time of their alleged murders, so perhaps they died from natural causes. They state that there really was no reason for Jolly to kill a 2-year-old who did nothing. One netizen raises a few questions, and they write, look at this objectively. We never hear Jolly speak. The only conversations we've heard are from other people saying that this is what she said. I'd really want to see how she is as a person. The end conversation with her and Leela is just chilling. It sounds like Leela is admitting to the guilt. 6 victims. Do you really think that Jolly killed all of them? A large part of this theory, at least from what I've seen, hinges on the last meeting between Leela, Roy's sister, and Jolly. Leela went to go visit Jolly in prison. And honestly, the only reason she went is because she had just adopted Jolly's 2 sons as her own, and she wanted Jolly to stop calling them. Jolly would call them and send them into spirals of distress because she would say things like, you wait and watch, I'm gonna get out of here. You come and you show me the proof that I did it. Let's see how they punish me. Leela said that when Jolly walked out, it was very startling. This is the woman that had been living in the pink house with servants tending to her, and now she's just sitting there. She looked indifferent though. She didn't look embarrassed or remorseful. She just sat there. Jolly stayed quiet and they both stared at each other. Leela broke the silence. How do you feel about what you've done? It just happened. It just happened. You purposely killed 6 people. You didn't even spare a little child, and you said that just happened? It's because I have a criminal mind. I can hide things. In the Bible, it says that no matter how many sins you commit, God will forgive us. He will forgive me as well. Leela looked at her and said, yes, God may forgive. May he forgive everyone. Some people took that as an admission of guilt from Leela, like she was rubbing it in Jolly's face, that she had done it, she had gotten away with it, and God would forgive her. And that is where we are with Jolly Joseph's case. Yeah.
So we're waiting on the sentencing and
the trial. And I mean, we don't know. I guess without the trial, it's confusing because technically you're presumed innocent until guilty, right? Mm-hmm. Perhaps her confession to the police was coerced, but she does confess to a lot of people. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just very confusing. I would say that the general public does believe that she's guilty. But again, that's just an opinion. We don't know until the trial is over. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, though? Do you feel like this is a serial killer? Do you feel like maybe she's been framed? Do you feel like this is just so odd? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Please stay safe. And I will see you guys on Sunday for the next episode. Bye.
Agua.
There's pretty much only one thing that makes me believe in reincarnation, and it's this Chinese reality show. And I'm convinced that Freud reincarnated as a producer for a reality show, and this was his grand big old idea. He said, remember how I said kids and parents have like very complicated relationships? Are they siblings as well? Are they siblings or are they dating? That is the concept behind this reality show. Listen, I think that there have been many spin-offs across the globe. It must be a thing that I think the human race will one day hopefully ponder upon, will come to a self-realization of like, was this incest? Was this like the fizzling out of incest? Was this stage 4? We don't know. But this is the Chinese reality show that we're talking about today. I saw a few clips on TikTok and I became addicted and I binge watched like 5 different episodes. And Tiffany is like, you need to stop watching these Chinese shows because I don't know what you're doing to your brain, but it's getting rotten.
What is the premise again?
The premise is, you know that Instagram premise where there is an Instagram account called Siblings or Dating. They post a picture of 2 people. And you have to decide if they're siblings or if they're dating.
And then they're just like a little bit too close.
Yeah, or they just like look a little bit, I don't know, you know?
It's like they're sitting on each other's laps.
They're groping each other, and then it's like, oh, they're siblings. And you're like, that's weird. And
then you start questioning, like, do I have the wrong type of like family dynamic?
Exactly.
Or, like, do we not have a healthy relationship, Tiffany? Or like,
yes. Who does not have the healthy relationship? And I don't know what it is about brothers and sisters. It's like the biggest ick in the world. I could see my sister shower. I could probably watch my sister give birth, breastfeed. Like if I walk in on her showering, it's no big deal. If she's out of toilet paper and she's in the shower and I have to go bring a toilet paper, what's the big deal? She's my sister.
Well, yeah, honey.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, okay.
Like,
that's
what?
true. But the way that you and Tiffany act is crazy. Like she knows that you have a romantic relationship with someone, but like the idea that you could flirt is disgusting to her. I see it anytime we're like, I love you. She looks like she wants to throw up. She's like, that's disgusting. Who could love my brother? Genuinely. That's her face every single time. She'll take a bullet for you, but she's like, I don't understand how anyone consents to loving this man. And I'm like, he's okay. The dynamic is very interesting, okay? But this show is going to make you cringe. Your toes are about to turn into claws. So there are a panel of judges, of hosts commentating on whether or not 2 people are siblings or dating. This is a Chinese reality show. So they're watching this happen in real time. And I just want to know which one is worse. If a judge says you guys are siblings, but you end up dating, but they think you're siblings, is that weird? Or is it weirder if they think you're dating, but you guys are siblings?
Oh,
okay.
No, that's like, bro, that is so much worse.
It's like, can you just imagine the family dinner after the taping of that show?
No, that's not okay. No.
And so I don't know why the host says this, but the host says, I hope that through our show, love is not limited to love, but also to siblinghood. And that just made me feel weird. That made me feel very strange. Now, the premise is in the middle of Beijing, there's this standalone house with a giant yard. They put money into this show. And the first guy walks into the mansion. His name is Tang
So
Tang.
what exactly is going to happen? Like,
okay, so all of these, everyone is in a sibling pair. I think girl and guy sibling pair. So far, this is just episode 1. No spoilers, okay?
So they bringing a bunch of siblings
into one house, and they're not allowed to say who's siblings, and they just all kind of flirt and start going on dates.
Okay, but like clearly siblings are not gonna flirt and go on dates, right?
Yes, but like it's weird because you watch their interactions and you're like, I think they could be siblings, but why are they kind of flirting? So it's very confusing. This whole thing is like bringing us back to the days where
you're guessing, are they siblings or flirting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why humans keep teeter-tottering on this very dangerous line. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird thing that we do. But he's walking in, Tang Tang, soup.
Soup.
Soup. Is that not his name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tang. Yeah.
Soup. He's walking in wearing the Korean
I
oppa
know
fit.
a Tang.
You know a Tang?
In my elementary school.
You know a Soup?
His name is Tang, and then he got lost at a field trip.
This is so crazy.
He was gone.
You think this is him?
Oh.
You think was he tall?
No, he's gone.
What? You're lying.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We found him, but like
Okay.
he was gone for half a day. Like we were like Tang. Everyone look for Tang, and then we're all like just running around Tang.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like he's forever known as the missing child.
That's so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can laugh at that.
Yeah, like it was like like news for the school. Like every bus was delayed because Tang was missing.
But do you think this could be Tang?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me describe Tang. He's
Okay.
walking in Korean oppa fit.
Oh,
Did
no.
you know?
No,
Oh, okay,
no,
sorry.
no, not the same Tang.
China opened their doors. They said, hey, Korean citizens, you guys can actually visit us whenever you fucking want. So a bunch of Koreans started going to Shanghai, and all the Chinese people on Xiaohongshu, little red book, I don't know if you guys forgot about that. That was a blip in the radar. They start posting, here's how to know when they're Korean. And it's always the same outfit. All black, long gray or black coat, hair swished to the side, usually an all black fit with sneakers.
Are you open-minded?
Are you open-minded?
Are you open-minded?
I like foreign girls because you're open-minded.
Oh,
That's a Hongdae oppa.
Hongdae oppa.
Yeah, you go to Hongdae, it's like a part of Korea, and it's all about partying, and you're gonna see a lot of wannabe Korean oppas that are like, are you open-minded? AKA, can I hang you from my ceiling and do despicable things to you and then never call you back?
Do you live alone?
Okay, so Tang walks in. He's rolling his suitcase. This suitcase is a pretty good one. I would say the pavement is relatively clear, but still, like, he could be doing donuts in a cul-de-sac. So I feel like my calculations are correct. He's got a little bit of money. He's got a little bit of money.
Is
Okay,
he cute? Is he like, so he looks like a Korean oppa,
very tall. Very tall.
but he's Chinese, right? Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but looks foreign.
Looks foreign.
Looks like he could potentially have like Western genes. He doesn't look fully Chinese.
I see.
Yeah, he looks slightly like has a lot of Western features. He's very tall. He looks like Chinese mixed Lee Min-ho during Boys Over Flowers era. He walks up to the house. It's like a really beautiful, not a cabin per se, but something about the color grading. It all looks like a fake world. It's beautiful. There's
So
glass
it's not.
walls.
This is not like Beauty and the Best.
See,
Type of house.
no, this is not Beauty and the Best type
Oh,
of house.
okay.
It's not Beauty and the Best type of men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're coming in with some strong people.
Oh.
They're coming in with these people are probably famous on Douyin.
Oh, they're bringing in the visuals.
Yeah, they're bringing in
Okay.
the face cards.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So he walks in, you step into this house. It feels so American, white picket fence on the outside. You step in, futuristic Asian home. It's beautiful. He walks in and he is the first person. He just walks into the living room. It's got this entire shelf of books in the back and a bunch of couches. He takes off his long coat. Boom, another jacket. He's wearing a black leather bomber under his coat.
Oof.
And then under that, boom, another jacket. This guy has battled like 4 fucking sets of zippers first thing in the morning. So I feel like he's tenacious. He's got grit. He's motivated. He sits down on the couch. The judges are already commenting. He's really, his expression hasn't changed at all. When he walked into the house, he didn't look impressed. Like nothing, just nothing.
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah. Or you have to ponder the alternative.
Which is
Nothing behind the eyes. Because we see him staring at a book. Blink. I'm not getting a signal. I'm not even getting like one Wi-Fi loop. It's like, ooh, where are we? I mean, nothing behind those beautiful double eyelid eyes. Nothing. I can't tell if he's got too many thoughts, so his body is not reflecting it, or if he has 0 thoughts and he's just entered a 10th dimension. I don't know. Bro could be solving world hunger in his mind. We don't know. The only signs of a pulse of life is that he will randomly fidget with his finger and then he'll scratch his lip. That's it. It feels like an eternity passes and then the camera pans back outside. Like he has done nothing. And I'm like, We're 30 minutes into the episode.
No.
What
Really?
the fuck is happening? Yeah. And then Tiffany was like, yeah, sometimes they be doing that.
They be doing what?
Just letting you sit in silence. And I'm like, is this the American brain rot in me? Because
yeah.
I'm like, how am I?
You know, like when you watch American dating shows, like everyone's like so outgoing and socializing
Like,
and like jumping on
yes.
top of each other. And then you watch like Singles Inferno or like these Chinese
Yes.
dating shows. It's like kind of awkward. Like the tension is like thick.
And it's just so silent.
Yeah,
And in an
yeah.
American show, I'm like,
This is so weird. Why haven't they professed their undying, unconditional love for one another?
Yeah.
It's been 24 minutes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
so then we see this girl, she's walking up, purple suitcase. It's like a 9 out of 10. You can hear the gravel crunch. But she comes in and you just look at her. And the first thing you do is, does she look like Tang Tang? Because I know what this show is about. Her eyes, okay, so he has a very deep, high up double eyelid. I did some studying. I paused and everything, okay? She's got double eyelids, but they feel a lot lower. Less real estate between the eyeball and the eyelid crease. She walks in, full monochrome look, paired with chunky platform Uggs, a light blue scarf. I mean, this is a girl who knows her color theory, and you cannot convince her otherwise. She is stunning. She looks like the type of girl that, you know, in the main dramas, you've got the poor main character lead that falls in love with the rich main character lead. He's Lee Min-ho. She's the poor girl. Rags to riches. That's the vibe.
Oh, they're like main leads level.
Peak soft girl vibes. Like, she looks like you go to dinner at her house. Every dish is made by her in a pottery class. She just like goes to flower arrangement classes on the weekends by herself. And then she'll stop by the bookstore and buy a book. And then actually read the book that she bought instead of just putting it on her desk going, that felt good. I'm a very literate person. Okay, she'll actually read her book. Unlike me. Okay, so 10 out of 10, girl. But she struggles to open the front door. And it's kind of cute. She's looking around and she looks like when you're like test driving a car. I hate this. You get into the car, you're trying to test drive it, but the salesman is not in the passenger seat yet and you don't know how to turn on the AC. So you just sit there with that one bead of sweat trickling down until he turns on the AC for you. That's what she looks like. She looks like she's panicking a little bit. And then she's just trying to knock. She's trying to press stuff. And then finally she's just Meanwhile, Soup, he's sitting on the couch.
Tang Tang.
Tang Tang gets up. Robotic, 90-degree get up. He walks straight to the front door, nothing on his facial expression. This man is a poker player. Or maybe it's Botox. I really don't know. I think it's a poker player. He opens up the door and he looks down. Okay, this is the part that I overanalyzed. So they say hi very softly, and their first impression of each other, they don't make eye contact. When he holds the door open for her to walk in, they're both avoiding eye contact. So I'm like, could they be siblings? Because, you know, you don't really want to make eye contact with your sibling in close quarters,
It's
right?
like, I know what you look like.
Yeah, and then also you got to play it for the show that you don't know each other, so maybe they can't make eye contact because what if they bust out laughing? And then he helps her.
Bust out laughing?
Yeah.
What? Like, what the f are you doing here, Tiffany? Like, I just start laughing.
Yes. And then he's just like, slippers are over there. And then he just walks away. He walks back to the couch while she's putting on the slippers, taking off her coat. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a sibling thing to do.
Like, what do you mean? What sibling thing?
Like, slippers are over there. And then you walk away. Doesn't that sound like
Oh.
what you do when Tiffany comes over? You're like, get the
Yeah.
slippers over there. And then you just
Yeah.
walk away from her.
Yeah. So they're like not very like cordial.
Yeah.
It's just very casual. Like
He's not trying to be
grab
too
that.
polite. He's not trying to be a gentleman. He just walks off. It's kind of giving little brother, older sister vibes. Now, finally, she comes into the living room, but she forgets something in her luggage and she makes this sharp U-turn and her slipper slips on the carpet and it falls off. So the next step she makes, it's barefoot. Okay, and she makes this cute little like, "Ay" noise. And then he smiles. So I'm like, wait, maybe they're not siblings because that's weird. That's weird. So the judges are like, wait, he's smiling though. Like he hasn't made a single face. He hasn't emoted this entire time, but he just smiled. So that must mean that's kind of cute, right?
Are they trying to like guess if they're sibling or dating?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I see.
So are they siblings or are they dating?
I mean, when you say they're dating, does that also mean they know each other or they
No,
don't?
they
Oh.
don't. They're going to start dating.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they strangers or are they
Strangers.
siblings?
Strangers. So it's like a bunch of sets of siblings come and they go on dates, but nobody knows who's siblings.
Got it.
And then they're just all siblings that go on the date. They all choose each other. That's sick. That's very sick. But I just feel like you don't smile at your sibling when they do that with their slipper. And it was like a really cute smile. Like when you see someone do something dorky, you're like, oh, that was cute. It was not like a loser kind of smile. Like that's the smile you give your sibling. So she sits down, they introduce themselves. She's like, I'm Susu. I'm not even fucking kidding you. There's going to be a lot of double names in this one.
Her name is Susu?
Yeah.
Huh?
She's like, I'm Susu.
You're Susu.
Exactly. Huh. And he's like, I'm Tang Tang. Just call me Tang though. And then she's like, Tang Tang? Okay, sounds good. And then like this interaction is really weird. And they are still not making eye contact because maybe they're siblings. He hands over the little plaque. They're going through the rules. You guys can't ask too many personal questions. That's part of the rules. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And she starts touching her hair, the top of her head. She keeps like putting that one hair. Do you guys do this? I do this a lot in public and I get so embarrassed, okay? My default mode, I want zero hair touching my face. Sensory, okay? So then I go out in public and I put all my hair behind my ears. And then I recall all my trauma where everyone in my life said, you've got a big ass head. It's like a giant boiled egg. And then I unhook it from my ears and cover my face again. And then I do that rapidly in succession about 20 times every time I'm outside. So she keeps putting her hair behind one ear and then she's like, no, actually that's my good side. And then she pulls it out and then she does the other one and she's like, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta be cute. And then she's touching the front of her, then the back, and then she's putting her hair in the front and then she's moving it back. Life is a struggle. Life is not that great, okay? And then he will randomly smile, a polite smile, and then he looks away. And then there's this moment where it gets very silent and they both glance at each other. And it's just, I just feel like they're siblings.
Really?
Yeah, but
so
then,
there's not like weird tension. It's like sibling just energy. They're just not talking.
Yeah.
But there's no like tensions between them.
No, it gives me like, I feel like you and Tiffany are always either bickering or in this mode of not talking really.
Like ignoring her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, okay, so some people were like, she's fixing her hair because she's nervous in front of him. And I'm like, maybe she's fixing her hair because she's on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe it has nothing to do with him, right? I don't know. It just feels incredibly awkward. I want to break my legs and crawl away. But then Susu starts smiling and she says, this is awkward. And then he comes out with a very smooth, authoritative voice that made me change my entire decision. He said, what can we talk about?
能聊点什么?
Which it just didn't give me Big Brother vibes. It gave me like, bruh, vibes. She goes, what's your MBTI? And he glances over and this is when I'm like, there's no way they're siblings. Because he says,
take a guess.
I'm like, if you, I'm gonna throw up. Okay, there's no way they're siblings. I changed my mind. Take a guess is flirtatious. That's basically asking, how tall do you think I am? What's the correct answer to that? If someone asks you what their height is, do you you be genuine in your guess. You show off your ability to guesstimate the length and spatial occupancy of objects. Or B, do you add 2 inches because you're scared for your physical safety and you need to inflate someone's ego? Or C, do you maliciously subtract 2 inches just because there's too much ego and some needs to be returned to the bank? Like, which one do you do?
What do you do?
I do B.
Oh, you inflate. Oh, yeah, of
I'm
course.
so scared for my life. Okay, so
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That brings me to, how old are you? Guess. It's like when a girl asks you to guess.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, but you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a Korean ajumma thing because no one in our lives really asks, how do you think I am? Guess. Except like a solid 60-year-old Korean ajumma that my mom hangs out with.
Yeah.
And then everyone at the table goes silent. And then my husband's got to be like, 29? And then they're like, stop it!
No, I don't do 29. I do better. Like I'm
What do you
always
do?
like, you gotta be realistic, right? Like 29 is like crazy. Like what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, do they look exactly the same age as us? Like, come on.
So what do you do?
I mean, I usually subtract like a good 15 years.
15 is fucking crazy. 15 is
I
crazy.
mean, chances are we already know how old they are, you know?
Yeah.
So.
See, I don't find it fun to ask people to take a guess how old I am unless
Yeah.
they're actual toddlers. Because you ask a toddler, hey, how old do you think I am? And one day, Sophie's like, 101. The other day, she's like, I think you're 7. And I'm like, I am 7. You're right. So he's like, take a guess. Basically, what color do you think my sheets are? That's very flirtatious. She looks over, both of her hands are in her lap, and now I feel like they're not siblings, okay? See, I think posture is something. Like what subconsciously tells you they're siblings? Because here's my thing. If I'm comfortable with someone, something about it just slowly happens. One knee comes up. I be sitting at a table, my knee is up, and I have to force it back down. Consciously. It just pops up, okay? No knee. She's got her hands in her lap, her posture is straight. You're an I? No. Your knee?
Oh.
He says, well, let me guess about you. You're an INTP? No. How many guesses do I get? 2. He clearly doesn't get it right because that's so random. There's 16 of them, but she's an ISFP, which I'm an ISFP.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Charming, sensitive to others, kind and encouraging, imaginative, passionate. Weaknesses? None. Fucking none. No, I'm just kidding. Difficulty with structure, unpredictable, easily stressed. Difficulty with technical problem solving and fluctuating self-esteem. Pretty much, I'm an anxious, bumbling mess that breaks down because my Google Doc doesn't fucking save. That's like literally what it's fucking telling me. And then I base my self-esteem based off of my fucking Google Doc. But other than that, I think that there are genuinely no weaknesses. I think it's probably the strongest MBTI that exists. So Tang Tang responds that he is an ENTJ. And she looks at him and she's like brushing her bangs.
What the heck is that? Do you know what that is?
Yes, they're commanders. So they're efficient, energetic, self-confident, strong-willed, strategic thinkers, charismatic, but also stubborn, dominant, intolerant, impatient, arrogant, poor handling of emotions, cold, and ruthless.
Okay.
So is that worse, or is it worse that I don't know how to fucking save a Google Doc? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Very intense. Meanwhile, the judges do not believe that these two are siblings because they're like, it just doesn't make sense. Especially him saying that he's an E and he's over here smiling and giggling. And then secondly, sometimes, she said that she's thirsty. She said that she's thirsty. They grab a bottle of sponsored water from the fridge. They got like 5 different drinks sponsoring this episode. So the money is moneying. She sits down, she pours it into a glass, which I'm like, oof, okay. And this is when I knew that they were not siblings. Mm-hmm. It's the sip of water.
Oh, she take the tiniest sip?
Yes. It could be desert, midday, highest UV index, 4 p.m., parched, dry. I could get an IV drip of love at this point. But no, I'm on a date, okay? They offer me water. Something about it. I don't know why. What brainwashed us? Who hurt us?
You can't stomach it.
I can stomach it. I can down 5 bottles of water right now. However, these are the thoughts in my mind, and I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys right now. The first thought is, I drink too much water. I drink so much more water than him. And my mom said it's not classy to gulp water like I'm parched. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, it's like a thing.
What?
I always get so jealous of like the people who just like take dainty sips of water. And then I'm over here like, okay. Okay, don't even laugh. The other day, I'm like chugging my water because I'm parched. And then he's like, whoa. Whoa, you could down that water. Okay. I like to chug my water. But then, even though it's the desert, I will just wet my lips. I'll just wet my lips. I'll take the world's tiniest sip.
You just like backwash.
Yes, basically. And that is, to me, the biggest indicator that they are not siblings. And in the confessional, Tang Tang is asked, what is your first impression of Soo Soo? And he says, I think she's very naive and cute. So I'm like, oh, I don't think that they're siblings. But now to stir things up, the producer sent in the next girl. She's wearing an all black outfit, long gray coat, a white scarf, a black beret. Suitcase is 5 out of 10. She's very pretty, but less soft girl vibes. Like, I want to call her 언니. Not because she looks older. They look similar in age, but she just has an 언니 aura. Like, she will take care of you.
Older sister.
Yes. Like, very 당당해, very assertive. Even knocking on the door, I mean, you would think that she pays the mortgage for this house for the past 5 years. Both Susu and Tang, like, when they're opening the door, it's like, oh, should I open it? Should I knock? Right? She walks up, open the door. Like, that's the vibe.
NYPD, open up.
Yes, that's the vibe. So they both come and open the door. She says, thank you. She grabs a pair of slippers from like the bookcase that's, I don't know, maybe chest height. Okay, she grabs a pair of slippers and then just drops them down. She doesn't bend over. She just drops them down.
That's crazy.
Slips her feet in. And I'm like, okay, I like her. I like her a lot. And he takes her suitcase, which he did not do with Susu. So it's kind of giving, hey, my little brother is my little bitch.
Oh.
So I'm like, wait, now are they siblings? Are they siblings? So he starts rolling the suitcase into the house. They're already comfortable with each other as a vibe. Meanwhile, Susu looks incredibly awkward and she doesn't know what to do with her limbs. He offers some water to the new girl and she just says, I'll do it myself. He walks back to the living room to join Susu. And look, I know I've changed my mind approximately like 41 times during this episode, but I really think that him and the new girl are siblings. It's like the face that he's giving when he's walking back to the living room is like, I'm getting it myself. Like, it feels like he wants to do that. Because she said, I'll just get it myself. And then the look on his face is like, I'm getting it myself. Like, I feel like he wants to say that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I feel like they're siblings. They're kind of cold to each other. So they sit down. New girl introduces herself to Susu first. As Tang for his name. He says, Tang. She says, oh, which soup? And they both laugh. But it's like not the same shy, like, I'm so nervous kind of laugh. It's like, haha, loser. That's the laugh. Yeah, and it's like if you don't shut the fuck up and sit down, ma, like that's the laugh, okay? So the judges think that maybe she's the older sister, he's the younger brother. That's the vibe. We still don't know her name yet, but she says she's an ENFP, which is a campaigner, curious, easygoing, enthusiastic, good-natured, positive, excellent communicators, but also very disorganized, overly optimistic, unfocused, and people pleasers. So that's great. MBTIs are incredibly valuable because like they don't really talk during the show. Like, they just be sending frequency waves through the air to each other.
So you're just like coming up your own story about
Bro,
that.
I just know the audio editors were struggling to find soundtracks.
That's why you're saying they kept the whole silence part.
Yes.
Because there's nothing else coming.
Yes. Okay. So she also states that if you're an I, you're just toys for ease. She
Who
says
said this?
the new girl. She says if you're an I, you exist to be played with by ease.
If you're introvert, your only reason of existence is to be used as a toys for extroverts.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I feel so targeted.
Like, wow.
So we don't know her name yet. And the next man walks in. Hometown Harry. That's his name. He's very different from Tang. He's wearing a short puffer jacket. He's carrying a duffel bag. He doesn't even have a rolling suitcase.
When you say hometown Harry, what does that even mean?
Let me explain Hometown Harry. But you just got to get the vibe first, okay, so that it makes sense. So he walks in, no suitcase. Duffel bag. This is the type of man that fucking moisturizes his face with beef tallow. I don't know. I feel like his idea of skincare is deodorant. He's like, oh yeah, this is my self-care routine. Deodorant.
Like he's like looks like rough, like a little.
He doesn't look rough. It's just a different vibe. Like Tang, I know he's whipping out a skincare bag. I know he's setting out his little bottles at night. And then he's like, wait, which one is the first one again? And then he just like has a little thing.
Yeah.
Hometown Harry?
Is he Harry?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So the other two girls, they had to knock for Tang to open the door, but he tries to wedge his fingers into the door and like pry the door open. The handle's not working. He's basically attempting to trespass on camera. And then he just randomly gives up, plops down on the front steps of the house. And he just looks somber. He looks like he's just been kicked out of the house with nothing but his black duffel bag, and he's pondering where to go next. And the judges are so confused, and they're laughing at him because it's like he didn't even knock.
Oh.
He just like tried to open the door didn't open, and now he's just like, what is happening? And then out of nowhere he gets up and just starts okay, so it's very confusing. And now everybody brings him in, you get the slippers. And I'm going to explain. Let me paint the picture. When he walks in, the first thing everyone guesses about him is he's from northeastern China. And I looked at Tiffany and I said, what the hell does that mean? Okay. So first of all, northeastern Chinese people have a very distinct accent. It's like southern people have an accent, right? So they have an accent. And on top of that, northeastern men typically in the dating world are known to be very gentlemanly. So they say in different parts of China, because China's so vast and like there's so many different like subcultures within the whole country, they say certain areas like you're gonna have like stronger assertive women, or certain areas like mom's in charge, or certain areas like dad's in charge and there's no way around it. Like obviously there's exceptions and personalities, but a lot of them have like this vibe that everyone is like supposed to fit into. It's like the order of society. Northeastern men are known to be very gentlemanly. They're known for treating women very well. Like they're the type to make sure their wives get their calf massages every night. They're very efficient. They know how to build a bookshelf. That's the vibe. He sits down next to Tang Tang, northern man. And the picture that these two give me, okay? Hometown Harry is the childhood best friend. You work at the grocery store. You've been working there since high school. He works at the grocery store with you. And every time you clock into your shift, you're supposed to put the giant boxes of water on the shelves and they're already done. And you're like, what? Who keeps doing my waters? Hometown Harry is doing it because he loves you, but he won't tell you. He just comes in early, he sweats, he stocks the shelves with water, and then one day, a rich guy from the city walks in trench coat, kind of snobby, kind of fucking annoying, and then he starts flirting with you inside of this grocery store, and then you guys kind of hit it off, and then you guys keep going on these dates, and then in the back shelves one day, Hometown Harry just explodes, and he's like, what do you even see in him anyway? And then you're like, whoa, you're my best friend.
What the heck?
What do you mean, what the heck? What do you mean, what the heck? What do you mean?
What are you reading? Like, come on.
It's so crazy because we do this thing. Sometimes I'll be reading in bed and then he's like, what are you reading? I'm going to read the Chinese version. So like if I'm reading sci-fi, sometimes I'll read like the Chinese version of that book. If it's like nonfiction, sometimes he's reading the Chinese version. And then sometimes I just be reading some dark mafia smut. Like that thing is filthy. That thing is dirty. Like the second my nieces learn how to read, I got to lock those up in a safe or something. Okay, those are illegal. I'm just like, oh, it's like a small published book. You're not going to find it. That's what I'm reading. It's the grocery store. It's Hometown Harry. That's the vibe. His MBTI is INFJ, which everyone is confused that he's an I because he's been yapping since he got here. And he explains, it's because I'm an introvert and I feel so awkward that I keep talking, Like, do you get that? Now, side note, the guy's name is Harry. Now, the whole time people are debating, is it better to be an I? Is it better to be an E? And then briefly, Hometown Harry just like shuts down. He just closes his eyes. He said that was way too much E activities. I gotta recharge real quick. Hold on. So he shuts down his eyes and then he opens them. And then he's like, I gotta stretch my legs. So then he starts just exploring the house and he comes back with a tennis ball. And then he asks Tang Tang, do you play basketball? No. What a pity. With your height, it's a waste not to play basketball. And so the girls are like, yeah, Tang Tang, how tall are you? Tang Tang says, I'm shorter than 6'2". To which Harry's a short king. Hometown Harry's a short boy. He said, what a coincidence. I am also shorter than 6'2". Okay? The humor is better because it's more compact, And then Harry just
That's fucking crazy.
And then he just starts yapping about height, about food, about how hungry he is, how he hasn't eaten in 6 hours. Just very yapping, and it seems very cute because he seems very nervous. And so far, the judges think that Tang Tang and the second girl, who they say her name is Hua Hua, so we're going to call her Onni H, they think they're siblings. You know, the one that was like, I'll do it myself. That's the vibe. And they think Tang Tang is interested in Soo Soo, the first girl that arrived, the soft girl. And Hometown Harry, we don't know who Hometown Harry's sibling is, but he does give only child energy. That's what the judges say. Regardless, the next man walks in, and he doesn't walk in. He doesn't even roll in. Well, he does. He drives in a Bentley.
You're fucking kidding me.
It's a bee with wings. I think it's a Bentley.
He pull up in the car, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, like bee with wings. Yeah.
It's a Bentley. He's walking in a fucking Bentley. That's what it looks like. Okay, we get the car shot of
Do
him.
everyone see him in the Bentley?
No.
Oh.
He opens the trunk. It's probably like the thing you wave your foot under and the trunk opens automatically. And then he pulls out his Rimowa.
Oh.
Just like Tokyo Drift. All the way.
What's his what is he wearing? What's his visual? What's his hair? What's
Okay, can I be really honest?
Be fucking brutally honest. I need to see it.
Okay.
Is he like a giving rich second generation like spoiled child? Hongdae
Okay.
oppa, like what is it?
Basically, his parents make good money. They own liquor shops.
Oh.
And he spends a lot of time at the karaoke.
Oh my goodness.
But he's rich.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
not giving
not giving-
international student rich. It's giving like
A little cheap. Yeah, we call it like 暴发户. Like clearly you made some money and you want to show it.
yeah.
You're not like very settled. Not even old money. Not old money. Not like with
Yeah.
some taste and some personality.
If old money whispers, new money talks, this man is screaming from the hilltops. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a nice flashy watch. I don't know what watch it is, but here's the thing with watches. This is my only thing. This is my only tidbit I can give out. If you ever see a guy and it looks like he's wearing a fucking baseball on his wrist, run. Run the other way.
I mean, it could be a Richard Mille or it could be like
But
a
when it's
China.
a baseball
Like-
on the wrist, like
Yeah.
so big, so overpowering, yes, it could be a Richard Mille, but the amount of emotional damage that man will probably do to you,
That's true.
still run the other way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an expensive watch or not an expensive watch. Run! We gotta run! I'll run with you! That's the only thing I've learned in life. He's got a leather jacket, white shirt. I'm pretty sure he's got a chain on. He probably spends a lot of time at nighttime establishments. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different lifestyle. So they all sit down on the couches and Onni H asks him what they should call him. And I actually like him. The new guy says, Fatty.
Fatty?
Yeah. To which everybody seems shocked. And they're like, did we just hear that right? But Onni H is like, Fatty? Fatty? You want me to call you Fatty? And then he says yes. And she's like, okay, Fatty. Yeah. And then she's like, how'd you get that name? And he says, maybe I'm fat. And she responds, no. And their energies, I don't know. The judges are really confused. Now it's like, is Onni H and Fatty siblings, or are they flirting? Because they
Yeah.
both have very direct personalities.
Yeah.
It seems like both of them don't take anything too seriously. They seem like
cute.
a fun time. So I like all of them, right? It's not Beauty and the Best. You're not going to hate anybody. I think.
okay.
At least not in this episode.
Okay.
Okay, so they briefly call him Fatty. They get to know each other. And then Soo Soo brings up the fact that she first asked Tang Tang about where he's from, and then he couldn't answer. And then it's just like a lot is going on. There's a lot.
So now we have 6 people.
Yes.
Okay. And we still have no idea exactly who's
Yes.
sibling yet. Likely there are siblings in this room.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the next girl walks in. And remember how I was really confused about, okay, I thought Tang Tang was siblings with Soo Soo because they had this energy that was slightly awkward. Then I was like, no, Tang Tang is definitely siblings with Onni H because I'm doing my thumb, that whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So all those rumors put to rest, bury them in a grave. The woman that walks in looks like Tang Tang with hair, like long hair. I don't know how else. I've never paused a screen and went, what the fuck? She looks like his twin. Stunning. Both of them are stunning, but identical twins. Identical twins. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna die when you see the picture. She comes in, brown coat, red headband. I don't even need to see anybody else's reactions. The door opens. They all sit back down on the living room couch. And guess what? Everyone's thinking what I'm thinking because you know what they're fucking doing? You know what? Every single person in the room cannot argue. You know, if they had debates about how strong DNA is, out the window. All they're doing right now is it's a tennis match. Left, right, left, right. All they want to know, the only question on their minds is, who's older? They're not even. It's crazy.
They could be twins or
They could be twins.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But they do look like
identical.
oh shit.
Identical. You know how some people are like, yeah, maybe you and Tiffany look alike, right? No, this is like identical.
Wait,
identical.
So are they twins?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, because we got to go through the whole games of like, oh, who's siblings with who?
Yeah.
Her name is Xiaoling. And people are just like, come on now. In Susu's confessional, she just says, it's very obvious. They look identical. Yeah, identical. But when Tang Tang gives her water, they're both very cordial. But again, it's pretty obvious. So I thought that was going to be it. But the camera guy pans to a new guy that's entering the villa. And he looks like just like a young college student.
Oh, I thought he was like, he looks like Susu without hair.
Wait. Some people think he looks exactly like Susu without hair. Okay. He's wearing a hoodie. He's got a jean jacket on top. He's got AirPods around his neck. He looks college. The first thing everyone notices is he looks like a young idol from TF Boys. He plops down on the sofa. He puts the blanket over him. The way he plops down and just his feet be dangling off the sofa. I'm like, that's a little brother for sure. That's not an older brother. That's a little brother. He might have 3 older sisters at home.
Okay.
The way his feet are dangling and swinging, I'm like, you were taken care of. Someone took real good care of you. Okay. The judge says, I think that's Susu's brother. I think so. He introduces himself as Tutu.
Tutu? What?
I'm not even kidding.
What does that mean? He
says, just call me Tutu because I have big ears. And he's outgoing. And there's this little TV show for kids of a boy with big ears named Tutu.
Tutu?
Do you know Tutu?
I think so. It's like a children's cartoon or something.
And then another girl enters the villa. She walks in Victoria's Secret style, red suitcase, thigh-high socks, heels, leather jacket. She looks like a Barbie doll. Stunning. I don't know why, but it's giving fatty sister. That's the vibe.
Oh, like that rich money talks.
Yeah. But cooler.
A little bit classier, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. And the judges say she gives strong older sister vibes. She immediately walks up and without hesitation, she's knocking on the door. Instantly, when the door opens, she asks for help with her suitcase. Oof, I love that. I learned something from that. I don't know what it is. Like all the other girls were like, and then the guys would help them. She's just like, can someone help me with my suitcase? And I'm like, I gotta learn to do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
and I was
good.
like, that's so good.
That's like that seems like, right? Well, why is that good, right? That makes it feel like
it's just
confident. Yeah, it seems more confident to ask for help.
Yes.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
But then I'm always like, I don't want to be a burden. I'll just do it myself and break my ankle, which I did. Not from a suitcase, from actual like real life stuff, guys. I almost broke my ankle from exercising in a not real sport. I was trying to learn pickleball, and whoever says it's not a real sport, I think that they should probably reflect on their superiority complex because I almost died. So that's really painful to hear. And she walks in, she joins the others. The energy has shifted. She's wearing a tweed dress, Chanel girly vibes, Songjia vibes, Singles Inferno vibes. Walks in, every guy is like, whoa. Her name is Xing Xing. Except, okay, so I'm going to call her Chanel Xing so that everything gets a little bit easier. Everyone's asking for her. She's very intimidating. Every single person that gives them her name, like their name, she's making full eye contact. I feel intimidated in the best way possible. I'm like, I want to be you. She says, oh yeah, for sure. Tang Tang and Xiaoling are siblings. They're both very attractive, but so similar that they stand out. She thinks Tutu and Susu are siblings as well. And then the first siblinghood is revealed. We got a guy who sits down in the confessional. I just can't help but laugh when I see her. I try so hard not to call her by her nickname or mention that she's my older sister. But yes, Xiaoling is my older sister. So Tang Tang and Xiaoling are siblings. I don't know what the fuck the producers were thinking because that wasn't even a reveal.
Yeah, everyone act surprised.
Yeah, come on, woo! And now the judges are like, okay, we don't care. Next. We knew that already. They're like, Susu, put your hair behind your ears again because Tutu does have some big ears. So if Susu got them ears on her, it's a supersonic hearing family. I'm just kidding. I really want my ears to stick out.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You know, people in Asia get surgery to make their ears stick out because it's cuter.
Yeah, supposed to make your face look smaller.
Yeah, and I tried to...
Which I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, look.
I don't know. It looks a little bit weird. Like a little bit like
So rude. What does it look like?
like you know, like Lord of the Rings or something.
Okay. So one judge says they can rule out Tutu and Onni H because they're both bonding over the fact that they're ENFP. They're like, oh my God, you're ENFP? I'm ENFP. Do you want some chips, my ENFP friend? They're like, siblings can't do that unless like you're just really good at acting. But others think maybe they're really good at acting. A lot of judges think that Chanel Xing and Fatty are siblings because they both kind of have like that money aura about them. But other judges believe Fatty and Onni H are siblings. One judge is super observant and he noticed that they knocked on the door the same way. So a lot of people knocked on the door when they first entered with a fist. Closed fist. They both knock open palm.
That's weird. Okay.
So they're like, that's too similar. You know what's interesting? Also, have you seen that TikTok that's like, why do we lift our arm to knock? Why can't we knock where our arm naturally falls? Why must we knock, like lift our arm?
Yeah, we're programmed.
Yeah, stop the propaganda. Stop the knocking propaganda, people.
Why do we have to knock?
What do we do?
We could kick.
Okay, that's
You know what I mean?
So they bang on the door. So they're like, maybe they're siblings. Also, people are speculating that Hometown Harry and Chanel Xing, their eye distance are closer on their face. So maybe they're siblings. Now, back in the villa, all of them are going upstairs and they're getting sorted into their different rooms. And this mansion is massive. It feels like, you know, have you ever watched that, not Chinese show, the children's show where it's a box? The intro starts outside of a cardboard box and the hosts walk into the cardboard box and it's an estate. It's a manor. That's what this feels like. How does this all fit inside of this building? I don't know. But they're going to be here for the next 20 days. Tang Tang starts playing the piano downstairs. Everybody starts gathering. And this is when you kind of figure out, like, does anybody like Tang Tang? Does someone want to date Tang Tang? Because we know his sister is Xiaoling. Some of the girls are interested. Chanel Xing says, I think he's glowing when he plays. Onni H says, oh, he's really good at the piano. But I think the one that is the most smitten by his piano skills is, they say, I like when he plays. He's really cool. I like Tang Tang.
Susu?
No, Fatty. So the judges are...
What?
Yeah, he's
Wait,
like...
but also like, how is his piano skill? Is he playing the piano starter pack? Like the
starter pack for Elise. Oh, yeah.
So he's not doing anything like special.
No.
Okay.
No, it's giving like I'm putting my lessons to use on this one. I've been waiting for this day. That's what it's giving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Xiaoling is looking at him like, oh, little brother. Like they look like they have a very healthy relationship. So then after this, they get a notification that they are going to now go and pick their dates. Their dates are going to start a little bit later, but they're going to submit a request for their dates. So the card reads, members of the cabin, you're about to welcome Cupid's date. Girls, please think carefully about the person you want to date and give the card to their sibling. The sibling of the person you want to date, but you don't know and you cannot ask. So you have to guess who the sibling is of the person you want to date.
What a complicated system.
Yeah, because Hometown Harry is sitting there. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh.
Tang Tang looks to him and he looks at him like, small brain, Hometown Harry. Let me explain to you. If A likes B, she has to choose C. Harry looks at him like all the brain cells have vanished out of his left ear. Just zoop out of, like, that is a horrendous way of explaining it. It's so much more confusing than before.
Yeah.
But Tong continues. A and C are girls. B is a boy. If A likes B, A should give the letter to C. Harry looks at him and then just smiles. Tong's looking at him like, are you dumb? I'm looking at Tong like, why are we doing quantum physics? Chanel Xing doesn't get it either. So Tong's older sister is like, oh, let me deal with my brother because he's crazy. She says, for example, if I want to go on a date with Harry, I will guess who Harry's sibling is and give that card to Harry's sibling. Harry looks even more confused. Wait, why are you guys pointing at me right now?
Yo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Okay.
did Harry's appeal just went down from that?
Yeah, but also Tong's did too.
Okay.
It was like two guys trying to solve a problem, and then one of the girls had to step in and be like,
I feel very merciful right now. I feel sympathy right now, so I will help.
Meanwhile, Tong tells the confessional that he believes his sister will like Tutu, big ear Tutu, because she likes clean, soft boys. Meanwhile, Tutu is in the confessional talking about his sister, whom we don't know who it is yet, but he says, I think my sister is going to invite Tong. That's what my feelings are. Fatty says, I think my sister is interested in Harry. Like, I don't know if I'm right, but maybe she might be interested in Tutu. So it seems like Tong is the most famous one, and all of them give their cards, but we have no idea who they've given it to and if they've chosen the right sibling. We don't even know what happens if you give it to someone who's not actually the sibling of the person you want to go on a date with. Like, do you just show up and it's not the person you wanted to go on a date with because they send the real sibling? I don't know, right? Maybe that's why they don't show them giving it to all the siblings. They're going to make dinner now. So Tong walks in, and I swear these Asian reality shows like Singles Inferno, I'm pretty sure 90% of them was them cooking for like 2 seasons straight. I'm like, these Asian reality shows are just making dinner and doing dishes.
Yeah.
That's it, okay? So Tong walks in. He wants to help cook. He's got his jacket collar popped. I'm like, you don't want to cook. Roll up them sleeves. You don't want to cook. You don't come cooking like that. Harry, hometown Harry, is cooking, and then Tong just watches, and then he goes back to the living room. You know, because I think knowledge is something that needs to be consumed in bite-sized pieces. He can learn to cook another day. He just sits back down on the living room couch.
Zero thoughts.
Zero thoughts. Silence. Later, he pulls a book off the shelf. He starts flipping through it. It looks like he's about to fall asleep. Meanwhile, Chanel Xing joins to help cook dinner. Harry is helping her, and the energy is kind of flirty. If they're siblings, I'm going to break my computer and call the police. I'm calling 23andMe and some genealogists because they can't. That's crazy.
They're hitting it off. They like each other.
Yeah, and the judges are like, they seem really close. Half the judges are split. Some of them are like, this is so flirtatious. The other half are like, no, it's like watching a vlog of 2 siblings in the kitchen. They look comfortable. They look like they're helping their parents, you know? They don't break eye contact. You know, he's teaching her about different types of fish. So again, I think I need to be in jail if they're siblings. I'm like, if they're siblings, something weird's going on. Later in the confessional, Chanel is like, Harry's very funny. He said my fish was very ugly. The fish that she picked for dinner, you're disgusting, okay? She says, the way he taught me to cook the fish just was very abstract. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Meanwhile, Fatty is like, how much rice should I cook? So he walks over to Onni H. She's also very strong. She's preparing the rice pot. And there's this brief, awkward tension. He says, should we wash the rice first? I don't know if it's her personality. I don't know if they're siblings. She goes, yes, of course we need to wash the rice first.
Oh, they're giving siblings.
Yeah, and he says, you're so strict. It feels like older sister because when he walks over with the rice bag, he just holds it open and she immediately starts scooping. It's giving older sister.
Yeah.
And then at the end, all he's doing is like, hee, it's only been 1 day and we're already finishing a third of the rice bag. And then she's like looking at him like, do you have any productive thoughts? Like, that looks like something a sibling would say. Like an older sibling would be like, do you ever like use a brain cell or two? Or are they there for decoration? Do you? I don't know. I feel like my sister says that to me, okay? But right before dinner, the doorbell rings. They rush to the door. It's food delivery, vegetables, rice. The note reads, our parents prepared this meal from our hometown. Let's have our first dinner. So all the food is displayed. Every sibling's parents created a meal from their hometown. Now, this is the tricky part. They have to eat the meal and act like it's not their food.
Oh,
Because China's very diverse,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So there's a lot of different types of food.
Oh my gosh.
But at one point, someone does kind of give it up because Tutu is opening a container and Fatty walks over because Tutu's trying to put it in a pot to heat it up. And then he's like, oh, that's not stew. That's a dish. So it's like,
you know what that is.
Yeah. So then everyone is like, okay, if a girl is talking about that food, they're probably siblings. So they have to be very careful.
Wow, that is clever.
Yeah, they have to be very careful. And there's no labels on it. So they'll sit around and be like, wait, what kind of meat is this? And everyone is like,
Yeah, nobody should know anything about these dishes.
yeah. So they're all trying to be like, I think it's this. I think it's beef.
I think it's a lamb.
Yeah, I think I've had this before when I was traveling. It's that. Now, meanwhile, Harry is watching Onni H cut the vegetables. He's telling her to be careful. Don't cut her hands, your nails. Be slow. Meanwhile, Fatty and Tang Tang continue to peel garlic. Susu walks over and she's like, let me do it. Come on, brother. And everyone got really confused by that. It was just like a really confusing moment. I will say, by far, the most useless member so far is Tang Tang. He's just standing there in his leather jacket. And at the end, they move all the plates to the table. And Hua Hua, Onni H, and Harry are the best at cooking. So they all sit down, and this is their very first meal together. And now, that's it. That's where they leave you for it was like an hour and a half long. And the next episode, we're going to find out if they pick the partner that they're going on the dates with. But this is just the first introduction to the 20-day.
You're gonna leave it here?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That was crazy.
Because the next is just the dates. But then if I go to the dates, then like it's a lot. And
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Do you guys want to know who goes on a date with people?
Hell yeah.
You do?
This is good.
Do you like the show?
I love it so far.
Really?
Yeah, I need to see their face.
Oh, I gotta show you Tang Tang in.
And then I gotta...
You're gonna die.
Oh yeah, I'm invested.
Okay, let me know in the comments who you guys think are siblings. And if you guys want a part 2 to this, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.